It's time for initiative.
Do it.
Do we want to fight?
Yes.
All right.
All right, man.
All right, here we go. Let's fight. First combat in a new campaign.
Oh my gosh!
And go. When last we left our heroes, for the very first time. Well, at least in this one.
Again.
Not very much happened, but also everything happened. So we started off christening the new city of
Fucktown.
Fucktown.
I'll kill you.
Dawnstead.
When you were approached by some new friends, an enormous carriage with an accompanying guard of knights from the Republic of Arcadia.
Oh, man.
You were introduced to the Chancellor himself of the Republican Senate, Talabek Angiers, a jovial and lovable guy. So he invited you to the capital in order to have you as the guests of honor for a feast that was being held.
A feast.
I don't know if I specified last time. It might have been just one of the things that I forgot with my brain worms. But you're to be guests of honor at a feast that sort of takes place annually, celebrating
Cool.
Miranda de Arcadia.
That feels better.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused about why they were having a feast because their dad died, but...
No, not that.
Okay.
No, you were just to be guests at honor because Arcadia is this place that revels in heroes and et cetera, et cetera. But you later discovered that actually there was an ulterior motive, that the Republic is undergoing somewhat of a succession crisis. The 3 children of the late Duke, Casca, Bernard, and Alasia, are all competing for the throne. And it is the hope of Mr. Angiers that should you perform tasks and complete missions and quests and win renown for one of the successors, that will help break the stalemate, and a Duke or Duchess will finally be crowned, putting to rest this crisis in an already dangerous time in the Republic. It was a long trip, a little over 2 weeks to get there in the carriage, but at last you did make it to the city, and I believe where we left off, you were headed to the ducal palace. Questions, concerns, thoughts, feelings before we dive in?
I'm a little concerned about global warming.
Well,
Beezerdine, is this fantasy world more like free science and thought?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Arcadia sort of operates in the sort of relatively ideal version of a sort of capitalist philosophy. It's just like...
Actual merit
Right,
get
yeah,
you places.
It's an actual meritocracy.
Actual
science,
meritocracy.
yeah, sciences and free thought are encouraged.
What a concept.
Because it just helps. Like, sciences and philosophy and free thought lead to, better boat parts and better organization of the government, which makes everybody
It's
more money.
early capitalism.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. Before, it got a chance to rot from the inside. It has not yet begun to rot from the inside.
It is early capitalism.
Yeah. Anything else? Questions, concerns, thoughts, feelings?
You said crisis of succession. There's no, conflict right now. It's just sort
Not
of...
yet. They're trying to avoid that.
Sure.
We're all kind of side-eyeing Eurovia going, what the hell's going on?
The real
there?
problem is that Angier sort of got into this, but he seemed a little cagey to really dive in.
No.
There's some shit going down, and no one is quite sure what's happening. So they just want to get this settled as quickly as possible so that this shit can be addressed.
Right.
And this is due to the recent death of the Duke. This is not a coming-of-age crisis.
Yes, the Duke just passed away.
There is some suspicion of foul play in that because he was otherwise young and healthy.
Yeah, he was not old.
Yeah.
Just passed away, last week?
I
thought we talked about it being a year.
Yeah, it was something. It's been something like that.
You can tell.
About.
You can tell us we don't know.
He would have told you. We'll say it's been maybe a little less than a year.
That's,
Maybe
I
10
remember you
months.
saying
I think that's
so.
what I wrote
During our
down.
walkabout.
Is there an acting Duke then? There has to be.
The
No.
Parliament was...
I mean, the Angiers kind of steps in for now.
He's regent?
It just works a little bit differently
It's
than
like
that. That's why there's a sort of urgency to get it done as quickly as possible because there just isn't
the
anyone.
Senate's acting on its own.
It's the government is only operating at half strength right now.
Is it just the Senate?
Yeah, so there's basically 2 bodies. There's the executive branch, if you like, which is the Duke, which sets the agenda, and then the Senate is it's their job to just carry out what the agenda that the Duke sets. Duke or Duchess.
Okay.
Okay. You follow Hector across the sort of grounds of the... So there's this one... In case this wasn't made clear last time, Arcadia is very much like Venice. It is built upon foundations driven into the bed of the bay. And so canals run through the whole thing. So as you enter, you sort of take this barge operated by Garmin, the dwarven ferryman, and he drops you off. There's sort of this central island, which is all built up around the Tower of the Stars, which is this ancient elven relic, as you understand it. And so there's sort of this central island, which houses both the ducal palace and the Senate chambers. And so as you follow Hector towards the ducal palace, I think even those of you who have been to the capital before probably haven't been this close to it. And it's true of Arcadia that sort of like as you move inward towards the center of the city, the more austere and what's the word I'm looking for? Rich.
Ostentatious.
Ostentatious it becomes, yes.
Brobdingnagian?
Austere would be the opposite of that.
Right, yeah, right. The entire ducal palace is covered in white marble, sort of testament to the mercantile prowess of the Republic. It's sort of in this linear horseshoe shape. So, like one line backing and then two wings coming off of it. Mm-hmm. And sort of asymmetrically to one side where at one of the corners a tower rises up out of it.
This is the Senate?
This is the ducal palace.
The ducal palace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Tower of Arcadia?
No. The Tower of the Stars, which the whole city's built around, rises twice again as high as any building in the city. And it looks utterly alien compared to the rest of the construction. The city has this sort of like Enlightenment Gothic vibe to it with lots of arches and like red brick roofs, things of that nature, But the Tower of the Stars, as far as you can tell, it is just one solid piece of this like meteor-like substance. Really thick and dark, but with almost these crystalline lights shimmering out of it. It looks sort of like looking at the night sky when you gaze at it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that rises, way above everything else surrounding it. But as you make your way up to the ducal palace and you enter into sort of the inside of the horseshoe shape, the entirety of the length from where the wings end to the sort of rear of the palace is this one long courtyard with topiaries and fountains and all sort of things spread about. And as you walk through, you also notice a lot of people sort of milling about. You take this to be sort of the courtiers of the palace. The style is incredibly ostentatious. With the men are all in these like really enormous, they look like the kind of dog collar frocks that they used to wear, with their shirts and things all puffed out, almost like a gambeson or a.
Ooh, are we at the point in history like fashionably where we're like stuffing things?
Oh yeah.
Hell
there's
yeah.
a lot of stuffing going on.
Pumpkin pants.
Yeah, all the men's.
God pieces?
Oh yeah, baby. You better believe. But yeah, all their under their shirts are stuffed, and also their arms, making it almost have like a curious kind of look to it. The women all have these incredibly elaborate dresses on, and you see many of them also have paint or some other makeup on their faces, making them look sort of like marble-esque. A look to them with these, tall, curly wigs, etc., etc., etc. You get the vibe I'm going for. Mm-hmm. And as you pass through the grounds, all of them take notice of you, and instantly, their cliques begin to gather, and they begin to sort of whisper and point in your direction as you pass.
I just kind of pull the old hood back up.
Yeah, there's an electricity and an excitement and a murmur and hubbub as you make your way through the courtyard here.
Same day, right?
Yes, it's still pretty early morning. You arrive very early in the morning on that first day. And so as you sort of make it towards what you take to be the sort of main entrance to the palace, Hector again sort of climbs down off his horse, and there's sort of an attendant, another guard. All of them wear this sort of plate mail with this insignia of a lioness holding a sword emblazoned on the chest plate, waiting there, who takes his horse away. He turns back to you and says, "Well, thanks to your generosity, this is where I believe I take my leave of you, but my offices can also be found in the palace, so please don't hesitate to come find me if you have any questions. Please, if you want to familiarize yourself with the city, I highly recommend the Grand Square. It's sort of what makes the city the city. Lots of good entertainment or establishments to be found there. Also, any shopping there is easily taken care of there. Otherwise, your accommodations can also be found here. I believe someone's been made note of your arrival, and they'll be pleased to show you your own accommodations. I hope that's to your liking.
Well, thank you, Hector. You've been very helpful to us.
Well, only doing my duty. Welcome to Arcadia. Do hope to be seeing you again soon.
Very soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he turns and walks off towards the entrance of the palace. What would you like to do?
Would it make sense to have a look at the accommodations first?
I think so.
And then perhaps we
Sure,
make
yes.
our way out on a foray through the city?
Sure.
Well, I'm excited
Sounds
to be
good.
here. Don't know about anybody else. Clearly.
There's a lot of people looking at us. I don't know. I'm uncomfortable.
I don't like it.
You're not
very
used to
much
that by
either.
now.
No, strangely enough.
I too find the amount of people here disturbing.
Well, suppose we should try and find a way up or in or...
And even as you say so, a figure comes walking out towards you. One that you recognize as Chauncey, the half-elf who waited upon you in the carriage when you made your way here.
Oh, I didn't know it was a half-elf.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. Sort of an elderly one. It's not often that you see elderly half-elves, but here one lies before you. The stewards of Barovia. I've been tasked to make your stay here at the palace as comfortable as possible. Is there somewhere you'd like to visit first?
I think our lodgings would be first place to visit. Good chance.
yes, but of course it would make sense to be settled after such a long and arduous journey.
Terribly arduous.
Please do follow me. And he bows
Alright.
and sort of makes his way. So there's sort of so it's sort of like this, and sort of at the back of the building, there's this grand archway which seems to lead into the palace at large. And as you walk in, you see in this like brilliant, sort of golden wrought metal lined across the over the top of the arch. It says, inscribed, "And lo, I looked to the sea and saw its beating heart, and all that was good flowed forth from its waters."
If I may, what is the... You may have said this last time, forgive me, but what does the non-bougie architecture look like?
How do you mean?
Is
Everything that you've seen so far is bougie.
everything?
Well, so you passed through
That's what I'm
Driftwood to get to the ferry.
And it was wooden, if I
Yes.
recall? Okay.
Primarily, yeah.
And then it gets more and more...
Once you're in the city, it's all stone facade.
Okay. So... Is it a hard cutoff from like outside of a wall?
Well, so
or
there's the
something?
city out in the bay,
Right.
and then everything on land, which is the sort of like city that sprung out just as the population grew.
Right.
Yeah, it's mostly wooden.
Okay. So, and we may not even know this yet, but like, is there like an obvious like, oh, this is where the middle class lives, or is it like
Yeah,
rich
yeah.
and not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, pretty much everybody that lives in Arcadia proper, it's like downtown Manhattan.
Sure.
It's mostly merchants, and probably the lowest class you get in the city proper is artisans, which live in Upper and Lower Terry. You actually came through Portside and caught the ferry like from here to take off. So Upper and Lower Terry is like probably the least bougie you get in the city proper.
But
And
it
then-
doesn't look that way.
No, certainly
Good.
not. Certainly not. It probably looks like the most decadent city you've come across anywhere else.
This is the only city I've been in,
Especially
so...
you, yeah.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Hightown is where, like, the rich of the rich live, like senators and their families, which is closest to sort of this central island here.
This is more for me than Kashak.
Sure, absolutely,
Good
yeah.
to know.
Yep, there's Gold Gate down here, which is another residential area. That's mostly where sailors and soldiers live, because the arsenal right here, which is this sort of like nub of the city, is where all the vast Arcadian fleets are constructed. You can earn a really fabulous living moving way up through the ranks
Sure.
of the sort of merchant navy,
Yes.
if you will.
So we're following Chauncey.
Yes, so
Yeah.
he takes you in. Inside the palace is, I mean, how to describe? Every inch of the walls is covered either by sculpture or art or tapestry or some exotic, good from far away. You know what I mean? Or constructed here in the city. Every inch of this place just screams of the mercantile wealth of the place. But he takes you through a bit of the palace to the eastern wing where your accommodations are and shows you to each of your rooms. There's sort of a long hallway which he directs you to.
Thank you for following me. Your accommodations are this entire side of the hall. Please choose the room that is most to your liking.
They make panic eyes.
roomie.
I make panicked eyes at Surrie.
What does he mean?
How many rooms are there on this side of the hall?
You see 6 doors.
I think if you'd like, you can choose a door and that's your room as long as we're here.
What are the differences?
Let's find out.
Assume that they're all the same on the inside.
I'll open one of the doors.
Sure, so the first door that you open up, inside it looks as if almost the entire surface is covered in brass. There is a lot of like metalwork and pottery displayed all about, with a enormous king-size bed with 4 posters and velour curtains spread across it.
No bad.
Can I open a different door?
Next one you open, you find marble sculpture covering the surfaces of this place. And again, with the same sort of kingly bed laid out to one side.
I think they'll all be different then, so it's sort of which one is best and most pleasing to you.
Which is the correct choice?
I don't think there is one.
Whatever you'd
We'll look
like.
for the one with the tree in it.
Don't get his hopes up.
I would like the one with the tree in it.
I'll open the
there's going
third
to be
door.
one with a tree in it.
You open the third door, and while not a tree, there is a topiary, sort of like, you know, like the Zen garden, sort of like cultivatable trees, kind of placed all about the room.
Is there actually a Zen garden in there?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy. But each room also comes equipped with an enormous armoire and what seems to be a personal tub.
Fuck yes.
She said in character.
Decadence.
Yeah.
How do you like this one?
With the trees in it.
With the trees.
Is this mine?
If you'd like
You
it.
may choose the accommodation that is most to your liking.
We do have 3 more to go through.
I want to see the rest.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you open the next 3, and in turn, all of them have the same fixings. It just seems each one kind of has a different theme. One of them has lavish artworks. Another the walls seems to be coated entirely in velvet. And the final room has various pieces of what look like mostly ceremonial armor or weapons strung along the walls.
It is the same to my compatriots. I will take the one with the pretty images.
Oh, the ones with the paintings.
Sure.
The people on the wall.
Artwork.
Artwork.
Aardvark.
Artwork?
Will it work?
I don't really know.
Stop.
Kashek walks inside of that one and just starts looking at the pictures.
The room with the artworks?
Tiny.
What about you, Seren?
Maybe common isn't his first language, is all I'm saying.
I'm not mocking him.
You'd be very correct in that assumption.
This is sort of your choice.
I know which one I want. I'm just waiting to see if either of you 2 pick it.
I'm not really one
I
for the one.
feel like I know which one you want.
I'm not really one for the swords and shields and
Yeah,
things.
no, me neither. I feel like
Why don't you just
So-
pick?
yeah,
This is
you-
way more entertaining though
you-
to watch you struggle.
I'm going to pick the one that you want, and I don't, because I don't care. But like, I was going to say the velvet one.
I'm just following Surrie.
We're going to share the room then.
Are we gonna share the room?
Yeah, do you want to?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah.
Well, the brass one's mine.
Okay, great. Never mind. I was worried for nothing.
Excellent. Now that your accommodations are chosen, is there anything you need? Tea, light snacking, hot water for a bath?
Oh, bath would be very much appreciated.
That you are, young mistress.
Actually, I sort of would like a bath as well.
Absolutely. I shall have a boy bring hot water and soap at once. Anything else I can fetch for you?
No, it's very good of you, Chauncey. Thank you very much for showing us around.
Excellent. In each of your rooms, you shall find a small brass bell. If ever at any point you should need something from me, do not hesitate to ring it, and
he sort of reaches into his clothes and pulls out what seems to be a small bell hanging from a necklace with sort of tiny little runes inscribed around it.
I shall know.
Thank you, Chauncey.
It is my pleasure to serve, madam.
Bow.
He bows back.
Have a lovely day.
I shall leave you to your musings. Your hot water shall be a long post haste.
Thank you.
And he bows and sort of makes his way back down the hall. And anytime you walk anywhere in here, your footsteps sort of echo all through the massive chambers and hallways.
Carpets?
Yes, none of the floor is carpeted, but there are rugs and things. Yeah.
Like runners.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Kind of everywhere.
I know he said not to hesitate, but I'm not touching that bell unless there's an
No,
emergency.
me neither.
I feel like if he moves too much, he might sort of fall apart.
Well,
From down the hallway, you
I am surprisingly spry for my age.
Oh shit! Sorry. He does hear all of it. I
I
suppose.
wasn't insinuating that he was old. I was insinuating that would be bothering
I
him.
wasn't insinuating he's old. I think it's obvious.
Oh. I will return to the group as they're having this conversation.
I think he knows he's old.
How are you finding the room?
Well, it's right there. Pretty easy.
I guess we just stay here for a while. Sorry to, if you had anywhere you were dying to go.
not particularly.
Just have another bath in a while.
Did he say when we will be invited?
I mean, it's pretty early in the day. I don't.
We know when that is.
So the feast
Tomorrow.
is actually taking place tomorrow night. And so Talabek said in the intervening time you may basically do whatever you want. But you can familiarize yourself with the city, you can just relax, but he did say perhaps introduce yourself to the successors and get to know them.
I just sort of feel like we've been traveling for a while and we're gonna go talk to people. Maybe we should.
Yeah, you're right.
What if we make ourselves comfortable, do our thing there, and then maybe go for a walk, have a look around the place, and if there's still time before nightfall, see if we can find ourselves some nobility, some royalty, and if not, we'll see them tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That doesn't sound like you think it sounds good.
No, tactically, I think it's an excellent move. Most people of high station that we've been in contact with, I haven't really enjoyed. I'm excited to find some I do.
I appreciate your optimism. Look at you.
I'm trying.
Have we been told
come a
where to
long
find
way.
the princelings and princesses?
Do you know we
Yeah.
haven't?
I think he mentioned all their chambers are here in the Ducal Palace.
Okay.
Generally, yes.
You know,
Specifically.
you know, we could have Chauncey show us.
That could work.
It'll give him plenty of time between now and then. I'll be exploring my room. Feel free to join me, but I'll be taking a bath.
In the in the room.
Either, if it's big enough.
No. Thank you.
We're all friends. Treat yourself.
So we all just taking some time to relax after
gonna-
our long journey?
yeah, I'm gonna walk into my brass room.
You do so. Yes. It's as you enter it, you maybe run a hand along the walls. It's pleasantly cool to the touch, and just really, really exquisitely wrought. And sort of as you just sort of take your time and settle in and become comfortable, after maybe 15 minutes or so, you hear a small knock on the door.
Yes, come in.
It swings open, and a young, dark-haired, half-elven boy makes his way in, holding an enormous tray, on which is a huge pitcher full of steaming water. Also, like various jars, cups, and other accoutrements, which you take to be various bubble baths or herbs and spices. And he sort of just like hurriedly makes his way over to the tub, placing the tray upon a small stool next to it, lifts up the tray and begins to pour. Quickly you realize the amount of water that comes out of it would not easily be contained in the actual size of the jug.
She starts pouring. Oh, that's mayonnaise.
You only got a gallon of that.
Ew, it just like floats to the top.
Well,
Yeah.
And as the water pours into the brass tub, which fittingly matches the rest of the room, you can see as it fills up, its color begins to change from its typical brass color to almost a shimmering gold as it fills up with hot water. Once he's finished pouring, he places the jug back on the tray and turns to you and says, "Anything else I can get for you, Mum?
No, that's quite all right. Thank you very much.
Would you like me to run through the various effects we have provided for your ladyship?"
Sure. It's good to know exactly what I'd be tossing in there to make soup with.
Very good, ma'am. And he begins to list off a litany of sort of fine sporific sort of herbs and salts and things from, he describes them being from various far-off lands, and some of them cultivated from the, sort of powdered shell of the very snails found in the lagoons of Starfall Bay. Just a whole litany of, incredibly expensive sounding comfort and leisure goods.
Well, no expense spared, I see.
No, miss. You are an honored guest.
Hope to live up to it. Thanks very much. I'll take care of it from here.
You're quite welcome. If there's anything else you'll be needing, just feel free to alert Chauncey.
I'll be sure to do so. And what is your name if I happen to require it in future?
Kirik.
Kirik.
Ma'am, if it do please you.
It pleases me very much. Thank you, Kirik.
Is it a coincidence, or have we noticed that the staff are exclusively half-elven?
The two you've met so
The
far.
two you've met so far.
Okay.
Do you think the boy might perhaps be...
Oh. Okay.
That is all, Kirik.
It is my most distinguished and esteemed pleasure, ma'am. And he sort of you hear his little feet as he scurries out of the room.
As you just release. I can see that.
Would people be turning eyes to the fact that I'm not wearing any kind of shoes?
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, you saw as you walked through the courtyard, it was positively a buzz. What exactly they were saying?
Have you heard there's a rumor
in St. Petersburg. If you want to retroactively try to perception check what they're saying.
No,
you're
that's
welcome
fine.
to,
Just
but yeah.
I'm
definitely
hearing all
got
this
some looks.
clacking on the floor, and I'm like, I would have been clacking the whole goddamn
You
way.
certainly got some looks.
Yeah.
Well, your talents.
Yeah, they're
Oh, do you have those?
they're not perfect Alfie because the whole creature is supposed to be anthropomorphized. So,
But you don't have, human feet.
no,
You don't
no,
have
no,
the
no,
grabby
no, no.
feet. Yeah.
I can perch if needed.
Approximately 20 minutes later, you wouldn't know it's the same boy, but a small half-elven boy comes in with the same tray. And same thing produced. He pours this mystical jug of hot water into the bath, explains to you the 11 secret herbs and spices.
Thank you for making that joke as well.
Anything more I can get for you, ma'am?
No, thank you.
If there's anything comes to mind, please do feel free to alert Chauncey.
Every time he just bowed to me, I bowed back.
Are you okay, ma'am? You seem uncomfortable.
No, I'm fine.
Uh-oh, we got a feedback loop.
No, thank you. What was your name?
Kirik, ma'am, if it do please you.
I suppose it. I've never really thought about it. Thank you, Kirik.
It's going well.
You're most welcome. It is my most distinguished and esteemed pleasure to serve your ma'am.
Thank you. Why are they all so happy about serving other people? God, I'm dizzy now.
Oh, are you guys are sharing a room?
Yes.
So you would have been privy to this as well.
Yes.
Anything you need, ma'am?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you. I don't need anything.
Excellent. Please, it would bring me the greatest of honor to serve you if anything does come to mind.
You'll be the first to know. Taking off my boots and just
Yeah,
on
you
the
flop
bed
back.
all the way.
You flop back on the bed, and oh god, maybe it was just Barovia, and maybe it's just the conditions. But you feel like you could fall asleep instantly as soon as you land. It feels like a cloud.
Make a wisdom save.
I was actually waiting for you to do that thing that you do and swan dive into the bed and it just be clang. The bed is also brass.
It's cool.
Is there a dressing screen or something around?
Yes, and fantastically ornate one attached to one of the walls, which sort of folds out.
Alright, I take the little one out of my shirt.
Oh shit.
Alright, behave yourself.
Do you want me to leave? My eyes are closed.
Are you going to open your eyes?
No.
No.
You guys are in the velvet room.
Yeah.
He immediately walks over to one of the couches and like clambers his way onto it and begins sort of kneading at it.
Do his claws look like they're doing damage?
Yeah.
No! Hey! Stop that. No. Pull them back in.
Just like 2 circles this way and 1 circle this way, and then lays down.
Yes, do that. Sorry, can you make sure he doesn't...
I thought I wasn't supposed to open my eyes.
Sorry, while I am... And I get behind the screen. While I am back here, can you please make sure that he doesn't do any property damage?
Sure.
Thank you.
He immediately goes back to kneading the couch.
Come on. You just pick him up and just like cuddle with him. Yeah. We'll be friends.
I undress and take a bath. And I use my proficiency with my herbalism kit to let me know what these 11 herbs and spices actually do.
He told you.
I wasn't listening.
Sure.
Wow, rude.
I was too...
He's a kid.
I was too anxious.
Oh yeah.
Give me an herbalism check.
I've never had to make one of these before. I was like, oh, that'll be useful, and then it wasn't. So, proficiency with sleight of hand, is it the same as like thieves' tools?
You would decide what
I think
skill
it would be
it uses.
wisdom or for herbalism. Yes.
You can use the kits to make certain ability checks with proficiency. So you would decide what ability.
I think so. Yeah, wisdom plus proficiency.
Oh, 25.
Great. Yeah. So even uncomfortable as you were, you still managed to absorb some of what Kirik was telling you, and you select the ones you think will bring the bath to your most comfortable state, which you may so choose if you like.
Yeah, I make like some calming soup.
Yes, it feels like stepping into a lovely cup of jasmine tea.
And then I just kind of like sink.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, just do that until it starts to get cold.
For what it's worth, I've chosen any scents that smell as sweet and almost as saccharine as possible.
Yeah,
And,
so great. Let's say there is like dried mango shavings and like coconut rind, like
She's
tropical
okay with
and
that?
sweet and sugary. Yeah.
Great.
Stepping into your bath, as you get into it, it is like almost syrupy and bubbly, and feels like just bathing in fine wine or rum.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's like a little thicker than water.
Yeah,
altogether.
right.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. All the sugar being released out of it. Yeah,
Yeah, she's very pleased.
yeah.
with
It's
that.
almost like a mask, almost like bathed, like a mud bath, almost.
Yeah.
So Seren got my terrible social anxiety, and Alcyone got your sugar addiction.
And
And Hyros got
What are
your
3 other
motion
things
sickness.
about her?
We'll go further. Don't worry. Yeah, I've long since tossed my hat and everything else.
What color is her hair? Black?
Her hair is a lighter purple than Hyros's is.
Ooh.
It's more like proper purple, whereas his is like black with a purple sheen.
But both of you, as you get into this bath, you can feel your muscles just like unscrew and relax.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Almost as if the ingredients provided have been infused with a little bit of magic. It's like the water is like almost massaging you. You just feel the stress of the trip. Perhaps the stress of the whole Barovia adventure sort of leak its way out of you.
Alcyone's like, oh, this is refreshing, and I'm like,
Doing all right over there. There's a lot of weeping happening.
falling forward.
Oh, all right.
Look, Kashank, what are you doing while everyone is doing their thing?
I'm so glad you asked. These paintings on the wall, are they protected by glass?
Nope.
So I'm thinking
Pointed line of question.
thinking at one point Kashek would have actually gone up and tried to touch one.
You do so. It's the sort of leathery canvas. I don't know if you've been to an art museum before, probably, but
Yeah.
it's just that sort of like
Me or Kashek?
either.
I have.
No, I assume that you
Yeah,
would,
yeah.
I don't know if he would be familiar with the texture of
Which
like, thick
is why
canvas,
he's like, how did they make these pretty drawings? You know, like
Right, yeah.
he's used to like, this isn't stone and blood or paint.
yeah, right, yeah.
Crude
But yeah,
paint.
it's like this really velour, thick linen canvas.
The only thing is that while his hands are more anthropomorphized than his feet, he still does have black, like not talons, but like claws.
Claws, yeah.
He got his acrylics done.
Okay, yeah.
So you tell me.
What are you doing? Are you like poking at it?
Yeah.
Roll me a just like a straight dex check.
6.
Ooh. Oh, God. Okay. So
really
you
like
sort
an,
of like.
an original.
I kind of imagine you spreading your wings and maybe flapping up because it's like tiers of
okay.
artworks, you know.
Oh, so these are like
It's the
these
walls.
are suites.
Oh yeah, they're
Okay,
huge rooms,
Okay.
and the walls are like 20 feet high.
Okay.
No expense spared.
And you just have like tiers of artwork working its way up to the ceiling. So I kind of picture you flapping your way up to like maybe like one of the top tiers and examining closely at the one that you select is seemingly of a. It looks like sort of a picture, sort of like an old. Like a Renaissance painting of Greek mythology, like a Heracles, you know?
Romantic.
Like, yeah, right. Like they have the same, like, they love their ability to recreate the human form, you know? So you see all the tiny little muscles, and maybe like a lion's pelt sensitively covering the genital area.
Is that neoclassical? It doesn't matter.
Whatever,
Renaissance.
Whatever you like, yeah. But it is of a Herculean-like figure holding a great war club, seemingly battling a tide of monsters. And you sort of fly up to it and wondering yourself, goodness gracious, I mean, has he seen works of art before?
Probably not.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I can't think of any reason he would have.
So how is he feeling? Are you mystified? Are you...
Well, yeah. He's not... And I don't want to just explain my character, but, like, I'm not doing this for shiggles.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Genuinely investigating.
Yes.
Great, yeah. So you kind of move up to it, and your owl eyes give you great insight into it. You can see the texture of the paints on the surface. You can see brushstrokes that would be imperceptible to
I
the
think
human eye.
to himself, he's probably muttering, like, this is the finest quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Even without sort of an understanding of, you know, the genre of art, you can see the amount of work that went into this.
Yeah, and, like,
you know what I mean?
He's not ignorant, but this would be like taking what is essentially like not a caveman, but like, you know, somebody from the Bronze Age and showing them a painting from like the 1600s. So this is more like, oh, I didn't realize you could make things look this realistic. He's used to like, that certainly is a bull on the wall.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And it certainly is like, I mean, it is a romantic vision of the human form in this heroic scene. It's like maybe you're mystified by the texture of the paint on the canvas. And so you reach out one claw determined to just sort of like feel the contours. But in your mystified state, perhaps a little less careful than you usually are. And one talon kind of hooks onto one of the little like brushstrokes and
Oh, I have damaged.
He casts mending on it.
fantastic!
Ow.
It instantly suits itself back up. Yeah.
He's never been in a city this ostentatious, like you said, or like this rich.
Yeah, I imagine probably the biggest dose of civilization he would have gotten is Sinai, which is the sort of last stop before the desert comes in earnestly.
He's not, again,
And that's really just kind of a camp.
yeah, and this is not like, he's not like, what is a painting? Like he's not stupid. He understands what he's looking at, but maybe a more like an easier to understand one is like, let's take a kid from 1979 that's playing like an Atari and show him The Last of Us.
Right, yeah.
He's like, I understand this is a video game,
You can do this?
but this is still kind of magical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put
Yeah.
him in a VR headset.
And there's
Yeah.
plenty in here to appreciate and to mull over.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he is. This is not the first time that he's accidentally damaged something due
No.
to his curiosity.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Awesome.
Anything else?
I'm just napping with baby.
He's
Pet him.
curled up with his two circles, one circle down, softly cooing, his head resting on his little hands.
Just petting him and
Make it
laying down.
biscuit. I don't think this is the first time that I've like sat here and like really thought about like this is the first time I've slowed down since Barovia.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like listening to that. Is it like quiet in here, or can we hear people like going by?
You can sort of hear all throughout the palace. There's a lot of noise. There's people moving through the hallways. There's music pretty much anywhere you stand. So it's almost, you can hear it distantly coming through the walls. Just sort of like in the background of your mind.
In order, I kind of like get in the bath,
Mm-hmm.
feel myself start to relax. A little voice goes, "Hey, don't do that. You're not supposed to." Gently quash it, and then properly relax until it starts going cold.
It doesn't.
Shit.
Oh.
I don't fall asleep, but I get really close, and eventually I kind of like wake myself up and decide that that's probably a bad idea and get up.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. Yeah, so you sort of get out, steam kind of like evaporating off your skin as you climb out of the bath. Feeling pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Rejuvenated, to be sure.
What's the window situation like in the rooms?
That's a good question.
Yeah, there are tall windows all looking out onto the courtyard below, which you pass through to get into the palace. You can see the topiary and fountains and people mulling about below.
After a little while, I do get out of the bath and wrap around in a towel, and then just stand in front of the window and look out into the courtyard down. I assume we're higher up, I assume, yes?
Yes, you were on the second floor.
Okay. And with a 20-foot, ceiling.
Yeah,
the
you
floor's
you sort of like looking down to the courtyard floor. You're like 45 feet up.
Great. Yeah, so I will just sort of wrapped but a little more still, just have a look out into the courtyard below and just see the goings on for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Looking for anything in particular, or just people watching?
She's just gauging the activity.
Mm-hmm. It's mostly people coming and going, you would think, but you watch for maybe 5 minutes or so, and after a little while you see surrounding one of the fountains a number of noble men and ladies gather around the fountain, and what looks to be a small makeshift band begins to play, and they seem to do sort of a court dance surrounding the fountain. Like one of those like
Oh, they're flicking their wrists.
they're flicking their wrists and they're like
That scene from Tangled, yeah.
right, yeah. Just the very like prim and proper court dances, very choreographed and designed to be able to be done in a corset type dance.
Sure.
But yeah, the courtyard seems to be a lively and active place where much happens.
What, any sort of military or guard presence?
You do see, in fact, yes. In one corner, it looks like men are drilling with what look to be pretty heavy-duty halberds.
Ian liked that. That's, they're practical for guards. They don't require a whole lot. Anyway,
Yeah, it seems like it seems like maybe a dozen, maybe a little more. What you take to be sort of recruits are being drilled by someone with the Arcadian lion on their breastplate, drilling them in the use of halberds.
And sorry, I'll be done in a second. Are we on towards the end of one of the forks of the U?
So you are on the eastern wing,
Yeah.
maybe middle about.
Okay.
Your hallway
But we
on
can
the
see-
second floor.
Looking directly across, there is the other wing.
Yes, correct.
essentially.
Correct.
Cool. Just I'm just keeping an eye on all of it. Just that thing you do when you first arrive in a hotel and you realize you can look everywhere. She's
Yeah.
taking it in, not purely casually.
Mm-hmm.
There's-
Definitely, yeah.
This
yeah.
isn't just
Getting the lay of the
relaxation,
land.
yeah.
Yeah, you are cozily nestled in the horseshoe of the ducal palace, with actually a great view of the whole courtyard from where you are.
Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing.
How much time would you all like to spend sort of lounging?
Not very much more than it would take someone to fall asleep in a bathtub.
I give an hour.
An hour or so?
Unless anyone else
That's
has
probably pushing it for Kashek, but he
Yeah.
can probably stay around that long.
Mm-hmm.
But he's probably getting a little antsy.
Sure, yeah.
I
Not used to staying in one place for very long.
The sun is setting.
I- I've been tiptoeing around trying not to wake
The baby.
the baby.
I'm not actually asleep. I don't
Behind
say
the
that
ear.
though.
He loves it behind the ear. When you scritch him behind his little great horned owl ear,
Mhm.
he does that thing where he like pushes his head
Oh yeah.
further into your hand.
Oh, it's like a kitty. Yeah. But my eyes are still closed and I don't say anything. I'm just scratching.
Okay, well then I'm padding around quietly, just doing whatever.
Yeah, so at the end of the hour, I think all of you are maybe feeling that you didn't know how badly you needed a little bit of R&R, and feeling much rejuvenated after your various musings.
Well, yeah, so after roughly that amount of time, I'm going to slap the clothes back on the body, hat included. I'm going to leave my... Ooh, yeah. I'm going to leave my bag, my backpack here, but I am going to stash it.
Okay.
Either behind or underneath. I'm not going to put it in the armoire, but like either next to or behind it so it's out of line of sight if you're walking into the room.
Sure.
Good point. Do these rooms have locks?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
heavy-duty ones.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do we have keys?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
something you would have been
Yeah.
provided. In fact, when you walk in, you find it on a little, like a little stand
Table?
next to
Yeah.
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are actually 2 keys for the for each.
Even knowing all that, I still very purposefully
Mm-hmm.
stash the books in the bag.
Great. Okay. Great. Good to know.
And then I sort of just sort of straight up grab both keys.
So we'll say we are brass room, which is the first door, velvet room, which is the fourth door, and then you were in the art room, which was the third. Yeah.
So I'll come down and then knock on the door that knows Kashek's room.
You do so. You hear a tapping at your door.
What is that?
Oh, he's probably never had a room before. I'll keep knocking.
He starts tapping his claws on the floor to match it.
I'll start doing like rhythms.
He matches that.
Do we hear this?
This goes on for about an hour.
After like a minute or two, just through the door. It's been really fun. Can I come in the room?
Yes.
You can open the door.
Yeah, unless you locked it, you can. Yeah.
Oh. Did you?
Yeah, generally the knocking is asking for someone to come in, is all.
Oh. I think Dora told me this once.
I was having fun though, not a problem.
I will remember this time.
Enjoying the place?
In my own way.
You have a taste for artwork, do you?
It is quite pretty.
Not wrong about that. Shall we rouse the other two then?
Yes, I was growing a little restless.
Alright.
I've dressed and I've been making heart eyes at who I think is asleep and who is actually asleep.
Yeah, as you make hard eyes and as you rest with the baby on your chest, you hear a knocking on
Okay,
your door.
let's try this one together.
The lid.
Try and show him how to knock. Yeah, generally closed, and then 1, 2.
Not hard enough to break it. Not that I think I
You
could.
punch it?
Yeah. So the two of you in your room just hear BUM!
What?
I don't know if that was a knock or not.
He is learning.
Oh, come in.
Alright.
See, there we go.
Is it against decorum to use something that is not a fist?
What do you have in mind?
My staff.
As long as it's gentle. People find forceful knocking to mean something bad.
Might I practice?
It's their door.
And I rap on the door with my quarterstaff.
You hear a
Be
couple
my
of
guest.
raps on your door.
That seems pretty good.
I think I have the hang of it.
There we go.
I think he's got it. He can come in now.
All right.
Alcyone, I guess you would notice at this point that there is a rabbit skull on a thong at the top of the quarterstaff.
Gotcha.
Cool. So you make your way in. You are all in the velvet
It's a bit bigger than you might find on Earth.
Cool.
Yes, so you all are in the velvet room. What would you like to do?
Oh, this is... I forgot you were in this one. Excuse me. I'm just going to get on the floor real quick and just like roll side back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, you do so. It feels like a dream.
See, I thought you were going to want this one.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Congratulations. I remember my first knock.
Do you?
Yes.
This was quite glorious.
Well, mine was sort of anticlimactic, really, but I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Well, there will be other times.
Yes.
On the floor.
Alright.
So we
Like, if you could watch her friendship leveling, it's just every time he talks to her, she's just like,
Are you coming out of the bathroom?
I'm laying on the bed with the
You were
baby.
both laying on the bed?
I was at the end of the bed, like, crisscross legs, just like this.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
On the bed.
Okay. Shek is just leaning up on his quarterstaff like he has been. He says,
Are you two mates?
No.
I
On the floor. That's a great question.
Just from the floor, you don't see her.
No.
Seren's my best friend, and I like having a roommate.
Ah, friends. That also makes sense.
It's lonely sleeping alone.
I've never had to sleep alone, and I find that when I do, it is uncomfortable.
I do miss the days of my youth.
Did you have, fellow hatchlings?
Of course.
There you go.
12 brothers and sisters.
One of 13.
Yes.
It's auspicious.
Not a very lonely childhood then.
Well, for a time.
I thought 5 was plenty.
6.
I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah. Well, should we go find someone rich to bother?
Well, I was thinking we could just explore the square or something like that, and he said there any sort of shopping could be had, and not terribly flush with coin right now, but it's curious to see how some place that can afford to be as absurdly wealthy as this, what they might have.
If you'd like some coin, I'd have absolutely no attachment to any of mine. You can feel free to take as much as you want.
But don't say that.
Someone's for me.
Well, it looks like I've picked the right people to venture with, so shall we make our way down then?
Do you think we should... Would you like this back?
I don't know what I should do with him. I don't want to leave him here by himself.
He sort of blinks sleepily as he wakes up.
Oh.
Oh, no, I woke him.
If he locked a room, he can't get out, can he?
It's not him getting out that is the problem. And then I gesture to what I have to assume is a shredded couch by now.
Well,
Who's sleeping on me?
Surrie took him off
We
the
were
couch
cuddling.
and was cuddling.
Probably just like tore into one
Yeah,
pillow
yeah.
a little bit.
It's more that I have more money than I've ever had in my entire life, and I still don't think I could replace everything in this room.
That's
No.
fair, actually.
And it seems unfair to just leave him locked in a room by himself.
Well, seems to be your little pal, so...
Put him back.
Yeah, bring him with us.
He's getting quite used to traveling that way. Yep.
Do you think we should be dressing up tomorrow for this feast?
Gods, I was hoping you weren't gonna say that.
I'm sorry.
To be honest, I wasn't really expecting, no offense, either of you to have much in the way of formal attire.
Surrie and I have tried shopping. It is entertaining and taxing at the same time.
Oh, was that when you were on your little journey for the better part of the year?
Yes. It wasn't always bad. Don't look at me like that. We got these, and then I gesture with my little ankle bracelet.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything that I think would equal anything anybody here would be wearing right now, but...
Well, they expect adventurers out of us, don't they? So perhaps a different level of formality is expected of us. So
Sure.
we could likely show up as we are. I've got a nicer cape I'll put on for that, but
You just see Kashek like slightly adjust his not turban but like wrap hat. Where he just
Yeah, I think I would have bought some, like, not like super, like, nice clothing, but like good clothing.
That's what I'm
sometime
Dressing up wear.
throughout the year.
That's what I was imagining. Is that like it's not necessarily like a style upgrade. It's more like a quality. Like
Yeah.
the thread count got higher and maybe a little more colorful.
Sure.
And that was like as far as you
I
could
had
push
to
me.
beg you to get a color in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, there was plenty of room for suitcases in the carriage, so you certainly could have brought.
I'm just saying that I
any
probably
fixins with you.
don't own that many clothes. So
Sure.
welcome to borrow some of mine if you like. We're almost of a size.
let's go shopping, I guess.
All right.
No, look. Okay, we're
We
having
don't
fun.
have to shop.
It's
we
gonna
can
be
just...
optimistic.
We're mostly just
Go
having a
around.
look around the
Yeah.
place. If we find something we might be interested in, then that's one thing.
Let's
Window
go
shopping.
have a look around the place.
You don't have to come if you don't want to there, Seren.
Do.
You don't?
I don't want to stay here by myself.
All right, then let's go.
And you've got one of two terrible choices.
Let's go.
Does she like me?
I don't know.
There we go.
But I think we'll have fun figuring it out.
So you make your way out of your rooms and head back down the hallway that you came in. When you reach the end of it, Chauncey stands there as you all exit. So he sort of just appears behind you all.
Is everything fuck?
we should really get a bell for that.
Was everything to your liking, masters and mistresses?
Utterly
Yes, it was-
spectacular, Chauncey. Thank you.
What was the kid's name? Kirik?
Kirik, yeah.
Kirik was very helpful.
Oh,
Endlessly.
yes. A wonderful little boy is he. Where are you off to, if I may so boldly ask?
The Grand Square, I believe.
Oh, capital, yes. One of the finest attractions in all of the city proper. Or will you be wanting an escort or guide?
We don't want to take you away from your important duties here, of course.
Oh, my duties are to serve your needs.
I think we can manage, yes?
Thank you for the offer, Chauncey. We'll be all right.
But of course I do not wish to impose.
Not at all.
Well then, you are to do as you see fit. Do enjoy the city. I shall be here awaiting your return.
We'll be back by evening at the latest.
Wonderful. Oh, and, do excuse me. Mr. Angiers wished for me to impart upon you again that he does certainly hope you shall take meat with the successors.
This evening, you
We
mean?
intend to.
But of course, at your discretion. Do enjoy your stay and your time in the city.
Thank you, Chauncey.
Does he bow?
He certainly
Every
does.
time he bows, I bow.
Kashek would decline his head.
Great. He just keeps bowing.
Okay,
Well,
let's
shall we?
go.
Out to the
Let's
streets of
go.
Arcadia.
You do so, leaving the sort of the ducal palace and leaving the sort of central island. Things immediately become more cramped. That sort of center island hosts basically the Tower of the Stars, the ducal palace, and the Senate chambers. But immediately leaving that, everything becomes much more of a tighter fit. You don't need to take a gondola there. There are two bridges that sort of lead to the square, but you do all have those sort of like brass medallions that give you like free passage on a gondola wherever you need to go.
Is this going across the water?
You will take a bridge across the water to get there.
What is the gondola for? I'm sorry.
Just navigating the city should you need.
But we're not taking it right now.
You could.
Yeah,
you don't
okay,
need the
okay,
bus. Yeah,
The subway.
yeah, but you don't need to right now. But should you need to, you all have those medallions which give you free passage.
Okay.
Do-do-do.
Are we passing by anyone who is currently taking a gondola, or rather getting off of one?
So when you sort of make your way, we'll say that you've been given a. Well, maybe you two were here. Maybe you've already been to the Grand Square. I don't know. That's up to you.
Were we in this part of the city?
Did you make it to the city proper when you
I
came
don't
down
know.
here?
I think I would have not wanted to.
That's what I was thinking. I feel
Okay,
like we
well.
hung out in like the Terries and was like,
Yeah.
that's close enough.
Alcyone, would you have ever been there?
Well, it's up to you whether when the Chancellor saw my company perform, whether that was here or wherever that was.
Honestly, that can be up to you.
Okay.
I mean, he gets around. He's a very
Yeah.
important person.
I'll say it probably wasn't. It might have been like at what's the place up Rivermore, the city, the town where the rich folk live.
Miranda's
Hightown?
something.
Oh, in the keep lands?
Miranda's Keep?
Yeah.
Probably theirs, but
Yeah.
I would assume.
Great, perfect.
So no, I also don't know.
Okay, cool. So then we'll say that you are generally directed to get to the Grand Square. Yes.
Do we see anybody getting on or off a gondola?
Yeah, so you come to where the central island meets the canals, and there's a bridge, which will take you where you need to go, but then, like, every 50 feet or so, there's a gondola station, pretty much, around here.
Are people giving the gondoliers money as they get off?
Yeah, you see maybe one pull up right next to the bridge, and a sort of stately couple get off, and a gold piece to the boatman
Are they
as
also?
they disembark.
Do they also have the like brass things?
No.
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
Yeah, to the Grand Square. I imagine it's hard to miss.
It certainly is. Yeah, so you make your way across one bridge to another tiny little island, which is tightly packed with buildings, and then across another to the Grand Square. And grand is exactly the word for it. It's sort of this big, sort of square-shaped island
What?
set into the bay here, with shops and stalls and marketplaces, and I mean, it is a feast for the senses. There is sort of an exotic animal menagerie, goods from faraway lands, rugs, carpets, spices, anything that you could, I mean, as you walk through it, almost anything you can imagine needing, you could find purchase here in the Grand Square. Some of them are just like basic stalls, some of them are larger shops, But I mean, you need it. It's here. So it basically just as you peruse. Is there anything in mind that you have in mind that you need?
Should we walk together, I suppose?
Yeah.
Just since,
Sure.
we're all new and such.
Mhm.
Anyone have a goal in mind?
I turn to Kashek. Do you have a purse where your money lives? Right, okay, don't show it to me and don't show it to anyone else, and I'd keep it somewhere that someone isn't easily going to grab it from you.
People do that, Not like us. All right.
As you sort of explore, we'll say a couple of places catch your eye.
Sure.
There is Brunhilda's Battle Wares,
Better fucking be.
which seems to be sort of a smithy or arms and armor. There is a rather earthy-looking place called the Twig and Twine, which looks to be a place to get sort of alchemy ingredients. You come across a place called the Seven Cats Lounge, which looks like sort of a high-end tavern, if you like, or boutique.
7 cats plus 1 owlbear. What could go wrong?
But I mean, yeah, it is a feast for the senses. So, what would you like to do?
I'm just trying to be casual about it, but I'm keeping it very close, just looking around. And if anybody looks too hard at me,
Sure, yeah. You see, like, there are a couple of what looks like sort of nobles moving about at some of the stalls. Mostly it's like merchants and, buyers and sellers. And, I mean, it's very, very busy. There's a lot going on.
What's the, general populace look like? Human, dwarf, elf?
Mostly human, but you can find almost anything.
Okay.
I'm just generally nervous.
Sure.
You and me both, babe.
Just like real life.
I'm keeping an eye out for any place that deals in books.
Books? Yeah, fantastic. Yes, you come across one storefront that catches your eye called Vasili's Volume, which you take to be a bookstore.
Excellent. Are these? So I don't know. I might have imagined this incorrectly. Are these all like actual buildings?
Some of them are.
storefronts?
Some of them are shop fronts. Many of them are just simple stalls. It's sort of like at the center is sort of like stalls where you can find like meat, fruits, vegetables, spices, etc., etc., and then it sort of radiates out. And as you move towards the edges, they become more storefront.
That's marked in. Yeah. So
Vasili's Volumes.
Facilities volumes. I'll have a wander up to that. And if you want to come with me, that's fine. But I'll also be fine on my own if you want to keep wandering.
No, I want to come.
Well done.
Heading inside. Great. Are all of you going into Vasili's Volumes or just Alcyone?
Yeah,
I'm going.
I'm not turning this into a Seren doesn't know who Blinsky is situation again.
I'll go in.
I'm going for sure.
All of you enter. A pleasing ding 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 of a little bell as you open the door and step inside. It is pleasantly warm and fragrant on the inside of this shop, but as soon as you enter, you kind of have to bunch together, as this shop is so stacked with bookshelves and volumes of books that there is almost not enough room to maneuver.
Yeah.
It is row after row after row of bookshelves, but you don't immediately see any proprietor. What would you like to do?
Does this look like fiction, non-fiction?
I mean,
It looks like books, doesn't it?
Yeah.
it's like take all of a Barnes and Nobles, put it onto one floor.
Hell yeah.
Look into this building.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wander through it. Good afternoon.
Your voice, it's fun. You know when you're in an enclosed space and your voice feels really close to you?
Yeah, like
You
when
get-
it's snowing. Everything.
Right, exactly. It's that kind of feel because like almost every inch of airspace is taken up with leather in this place.
All right then. Thaumaturgy. Hello. Good afternoon there.
Ow.
Oh, sorry.
You hear sort of a plodding, and then coming around the corner, slowly but determinedly, comes an aged turtle with incredibly thick, like, soda can eyeglasses that kind of come out to here. He makes his way towards you. And it's funny, it seems like the shelves have been placed exactly the width of his shell.
Yeah.
As he moves through the stacks.
Man knows what's up.
And he walks up to you.
Welcome to
to Vasily's volumes. Is there anything I can help you with today? A specialty item, or just simply willing to learn?
Well, first, Mr. Vasily, pleasure to meet you, of course. My name is Alcyone. I'm a bit of a enthusiast as far as literature goes myself.
I can read it on your face as plainly as the volume of a book.
Well,
I see the spark of knowledge inside you, my new friend.
it's very kind of you to say so. My compatriots here, I suppose, well, we are new to town, so willing to learn, I think, is if that's an option still presenting itself.
But of course, we have the stock to cater to any taste here, whether you're willing to learn more about the physical world, matters of the arcane, or simple pleasurable fiction escape. Please, just speak what it dwells within your heart and mind, and I, Toruta Vasily, will guide you there.
I know what I want. Anyone else trying to do anything
Yes.
while we're here?
Yeah, I would take a look at the fiction section.
But of course, please, walk this way.
I will.
And he sort of like shuffle in place, does a 180, and then
6-point turn.
yeah, right. Yeah. Because they are exactly the width of his shelf. So he like 8-point turns to get around, and then makes his way down the bookshelf.
But no. Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, so you follow him through the stacks. On each of the ends of the shelves, there are a litany of labels running from the very top all the way down, which you see is sort of like the genre section in almost any language you can think of.
This is our fiction section. Is there anything in particular you were looking for?
No, I think I will just browse, if that's all right.
Peruse to your heart's content. Life is long, and filling it with books is the most noble of pursuits.
I agree.
I got the sense there was something you were searching for as well.
Yes. Are you two just like sticking with Surrie, or are you?
I'm gonna follow Mr. Vasily, actually.
I'm gonna aimlessly wander anybody that lets me.
Okay. I'm going to sort of just, if there's a moment where my friends are not paying direct attention, I'm going to just to speak to Mr. Vasily.
Sure.
What do you have on more occult subjects, things of that nature?
Oh, a curious question. This is for academic purposes, I suppose.
You can trust me on this, Mr. Vasily. It is less for my needs and more for my safety.
Mine is to provide the knowledge, not to ask its use. Please follow me.
And he begins to, for lack of a better word, turtle his way back towards the back of the store. He takes you to the back of the store. Once you get towards the back corner of it, you see 2 curtains draped.
Behind the left, you shall find what you seek.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
But of course, the pursuit of knowledge is the fire I live to kindle.
Actually, once I noticed the like genre titles, I look for anything like related to like theology, but I'll say that I slipped away before they had that conversation, so you guys can be alone.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Yeah, so you peruse for a little while until you come to theology written in Common and Elvish and whatever language you speak.
I look for one about drow gods.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay, great. You begin to peruse.
Mhm.
Let's do Alcyone first. Making your way back behind the curtain.
Yes.
If you need any further assistance, I am what to call away.
I'll be sure to do so.
He gives a little. He bows by sort of like retracting his neck a little bit and then extending it again.
I have not bowed to either of the servant folk, but I do give him a courteous nod.
Yeah, you do. So as you move past the sort of velour curtain, it's a very narrow hallway, not very big at all. It's almost like a cupboard. And as compared to the volumes outside, these stacks seem relatively sparse. Instead of placed spine out, they are full facing, but there's still a pretty sizable collection as you peruse the shelves. What are you looking for?
Knowing how rare some of these things are, I am still looking for any mention at all of a certain few names. That
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Let's do a roll. So you look through the scattered volumes, and they are grouped together very generally, you quickly realize. On the same shelf, there is one about, like, a specific history of cults throughout the Republic, as well as, like, a tomb of, let's say, magic they may not teach in the first year at the college, all housed in sort of the same section. But one volume does pique your interest. Forgotten Names for Forgotten Places.
I'll just peruse that for a little while.
Sure, great, yeah.
Just wild back there, out of sight.
Yeah. Great, so let's switch over to... You're making your way through the theology section. Most of the volumes you find are on the Morning Lord. And Morning Lord is the sort of Eurovian parlance. In Arcadia, this is sort of general knowledge. The Morning Lord is referred to as the Luminary, where we are now. But they share basically the same worship structure. They just, it's sort of regional differences. So most of it is about that. You see a volume about, one sort of jumps out at you, about the Order of the Flaming Rose, lumped in with the text on the Luminary. But as you keep moving forward, as you keep moving down the stacks, it begins to branch out a little bit more, branching out of this sort of...
I pause at the Order of the Flaming Rose.
Okay.
Kind of flip through it.
Yeah, you do so. It is a sort of tabulation of history. And as you sort of peruse skimming it, the introductory chapter perhaps, you gather that the Order of the Sacred Rose is a somewhat militant arm with their headquarters based in San Nina's Basilica, which you gather is something in the city.
Okay. Is it like a history, or is it...
Yeah, it's a tome sort of detailing the originations of the order.
The only thing I'm really looking for, besides like vague information, is I'm looking for any mention of like the name Surrie.
No.
Okay.
Not that you find.
But then I keep going.
Further down the stack, it begins to branch out. You know what? Actually, give me an investigation check.
That's not going to be too bad, I hope.
This is a lot of books here.
17.
Awesome. You almost near the end of the stack, and you almost begin to lose hope. But then, in one tiny corner on the bottom shelf, a book bound in deep black leather with a sort of royal purple text scrawled across the spine.
I understand this color scheme.
Inscribed, it reads, Lolth, Queen of Spiders.
I pick it up. I flip through it.
Flipping through the first chapters, it details sort of the story of Lolth as found in the player's handbook, or wherever it is, you know what I mean?
Mordenkainen, I think.
Mordenkainen,
Yeah.
It's that information. It's sort of the origins of the drow.
I sit crisscross again on the floor.
Crisscross
Just
applesauce.
start reading it.
Find what you were looking for.
For a big turtle, he moves very silently.
Yes, I think I have. Thank you. Unless this isn't allowed.
Oh, no. Please, you must be certain before you make a purchase, I always say. I encourage knowledge even if it is not to my immediate economic gain, for knowledge held benefits the world at large.
Then I go back to reading. The whole time I was kind of like drifting back to...
I'll leave you to it then. Can I do anything for you two, while your friends are otherwise preoccupied?
I was looking at the fiction.
Yes, great. Oh, of course. Right. Yeah, so, I mean, the fiction section, broad as it is more organized by author than general topic. So you see all manner of stuff. Is there something in particular you're after?
Just like a nice story, you know.
Okay.
You're browsing through the shelves, and again, Vasily sort of just pops up behind you.
Is there something you're looking for in particular, or I'd be happy to make a recommendation?
I would love a recommendation, actually.
Yes. Well, were you to put a dagger to my throat, I believe that I would recommend the works of Alemsif. He is an old legion and so foreign to our shores, but his outsider's view gives an excellent lens to the early manifestations of our brave republic. Historical fiction, if you so like.
No,
All right. Yeah. I think I'd be into that.
Yes.
And he brings you to a certain section of the shelves, and there are a variety of volumes with very handsome brown leather volumes with gold inscribed on the spines. It's sort of we'll say like a series of 12 books. That's basically sort of like historical fiction set in the founder era of the Republic. You know, when Miranda was leading her charge.
Do they go in order? Is it like a long series? Or?
Yes. The series is called A Game of Light and Shadow. It recounts the tale of a young knight in the service of our founder queen who falls in love with a Eurovian general. Daring stuff, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. All right. I'll take the first two.
But of course, it is my pleasure. Do follow me.
Gladly.
And he sort of pulls the first two. They make a satisfying as he pulls it from their shelves. You know the one.
Oh yeah, I do.
Do follow me. Bookstores. Anything for you, my fine feathered friend.
No, I am not much of a reader.
Ah, well, I hold hope you may be persuaded yet. Nonetheless, follow me, my dear.
And he sort of turtles off to the register, as it were.
I follow.
Turtle. Let's jump to Alcyone.
Sure.
Skimming through forgotten names for forgotten places.
Yes. 4. That makes sense.
It's not a historical text, but a theoretical one. You get the sense, like, maybe proposing things. It's sort of a mix of Ancient Aliens / Too Bizarre to Be Real kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as leafing through the pages looking for the name you're searching for, you find simply one mention of it. There's only one sentence spouting the name that you search for.
Noted.
And it just reads, "While we peruse the mystical fancies of the wider world, let us not forget." Redacted. The place to which all secrets flow.
Well, I suppose that's enough for me. I close the book and I will go try to find. Yeah, I will go attempt to find them and attempt to purchase it.
Okay, taking the book
I'm
with
taking
you.
the book with
Great. Yeah, as you come back out from the left curtain at the back of the store, you make your way and you find Surrie sort of up at the front desk with Vasily sort of ringing her up, as it were.
I'm sorry, what was the... Would you mind repeating? Or at least...
The
just-
phrase,
yeah.
the sentence.
Yeah.
As we peruse the mysteries of the wider world, lest we not forget, redacted, the place to which all secrets flow.
Got it. Cool.
Yes.
I don't remember if you said this, but is Arcadia aware of any countries other than Europia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing about it is geographically very isolated,
Sure.
which is sort of why it's been able to prosper in the way it has. Its most comparable partner, I guess you could say, which you've heard it mentioned a few times, is Orlais. Faraway Orlais, it's commonly called in the Republic. It's a sort of island nation deep out to the ocean.
Is that it?
And then there is so
You don't have to list them all. I
No,
just
that's
want to
fine,
know if
that's
there's
fine.
like...
southwards.
Yeah.
You'll only find things in the ocean, primarily Orlais.
Can you
As you
spell
move
Orlais?
farther east, there is the Rashi Steppe, domain of the Horse Lords, and that is sort of like thousands of miles of unbroken grasslands. On the other side of that,
there is a kingdom which is still probably not well understood by Arcadia, but they have mercantile exports and stuff there. The Kingdom of Redacted. We'll get there.
Yeah. What directions were those?
So the Rashi Steppe is to the east, and as you follow the coast northeast, eventually you get to this other sort of civilized world. And then, of course, to the northwest lies Eurovia and wider lands beyond that.
Barovia.
And then Orlais.
Orlais is to the southeast. It's an island nation in Mer Teleraine.
Can you spell it?
Orlais. The author Lemessif, being Orlesian himself.
I don't think I purchased this,
Mhm.
but as long as it takes those two to get what they're purchasing,
Mm-hmm.
I will sit here and like absorb all of the information.
Great. So, you wouldn't, obviously you're not going to be able to get to the book,
Mhm.
but there's sort of an introductory chapter that outlines it. I mean, this is certainly the most information you've been able to gather about your people
Is it
thus far.
just the like this is who Karelin is and oops Lolth.
Mhm.
Now oops all drow.
It's that, yeah.
But that's like the period at the end of the sentence is like and then the drow were reviled forever.
Correct. Yeah, it does not detail like current drow structure or life. It's more the mythology surrounding Lolth.
Okay, then yeah, I absorb as much of that as I can while
Mhm.
these two are doing stuff.
Okay. So you two then up at the register, he sort of rings you up. For your two ahistorical fiction volumes.
It'll be 4 gold for the set.
Yes.
Would you like them wrapped?
No, that's all right.
And he just sort of slides them back across the counter.
Do enjoy.
I will.
And then Alcyone, you roll up to the counter and place your volume down on the table.
Oh, yes, a fine choice, young mistress. From the restricted section, then 5 gold will do nicely.
Certainly. Thank you for your assistance.
It's my duty to be a spreader of knowledge and lore.
I'll pass over the 5 gold. You do so.
Would you like it wrapped?
I sort of just absentmindedly rub the tattoo on my right arm. Probably a good idea, I think, yes.
But of course.
And nimbly for his turtly hands,
Fuck yes.
he sort of like takes a ribbon of vellum and like whoosh, whooshing, and like cuts it cleanly at this apparatus and really expertly whips it around the volume, tying it up with a nice bow and passing it back to you. Thank you again for your help today.
But of course, please, I do so enjoy company in my shop. Return whenever you see fit.
Absolutely.
I was kind of holding out for like all 5 of his limbs, including his head, like slurp inside of his shell, and you just hear like heavy construction noises going inside.
The fuck's a drill?
Here you go, but it doesn't fall; it just stays there for a second.
I may likely return during our stay here in
Yes,
the
I
city.
think so.
Please do. Well, thank you for visiting Vasily's volumes. Have an excellent and well-informed day.
Thank you.
Mr. Vasily,
Yes.
not to make too many assumptions, but have you any opinion on the current goings-on with the ducal, what am I thinking of?
Succession?
Succession?
Oh, yes. Poor Dadel has gone before his time. A terrible tragedy. I can't speak much as to my own views, except to say that a successor need be found soon to keep the prosperity of our glorious republic well intact.
And you haven't any real opinion on which one of them is?
Well, I am but a humble shopkeeper, and the politics of the land are far beyond my grasp. Though I do hear tell it is Bernard who does appreciate fine learning and enlightenment thinking.
Why is that even a question?
Well, I was wondering if he was gonna be like,
No, I love the military.
Not in the streets.
Really gets my blood up.
See, I'm waiting for the first time we asked that to them. They're like, well, the Senate, the Chancellor's been doing such an excellent job.
What's his name? Palpatine?
Yeah.
Wait.
I am the Senate.
Yeah, okay. I put the little book back.
Okay.
And leave feeling
Got
a
what
little
you need.
leave feeling a little different.
So yeah. So yes, you have absorbed the sort of mythology surrounding the elven gods.
Make my way out of the store.
Yeah,
Follow
A
these
pleasant
two up.
jingling
Something else.
follows your exit, and you are once again back in the busy and bustling market square.
You know, every time you're in a place that sells books, doesn't it feel like you're just in there for way longer than it actually was?
yeah, it's wonderful.
It's night out.
Well, it's just, you know, I know that was probably maybe half an hour at most, but I forgot we were outside today.
I like it.
Isn't that crazy? I like that.
Me too.
Maybe I'm
Well-
speaking to the wrong crowd.
Sorry, what?
Is there any other business we have here? Anything you would like to do?
Did we not come out to buy fancy clothing?
Yeah, where did we land on the dressing up?
I mean, I have things I can dress in, but
I sort of thought that would be your purview.
It's
If you
not a
don't
bad
want
idea.
to, that's fine by me. Do you think they're going to be offended if we go meet them for dinner and...
Don't know, you saw everyone in the courtyard today.
well, you're heroes. They can hardly be offended by anything you do.
I was going to say, aren't we being honored?
We are being honored.
You are the guests of honor, yeah.
Alright then. Would you like fancy clothes, Kashik?
I would not know what to buy.
Surrey's very
I could
good
help.
at...
I know a bit about costumes.
I'm also not the easiest to dress.
And he flexes his wings.
That's true.
I imagine wraps would largely be most of your
Indeed.
kit there.
Not terrible with the needle and thread.
What are they called?
Gesture to my tail.
Sarops?
Sarongs.
Sarongs?
Sarong is just goes around the...
No. Serapi?
That's the name of the mom in The Lion King?
It is.
But it could also... A serape,
Thank you.
or harango, is a long blanket-like shawl, often brightly colored and fringed at the ends, worn in Mexico, especially by men.
Yeah.
Get you a brightly colored one if you like.
I do like it bright.
Maybe
I'll
fringed at the
find
end.
something.
Whatever you
you.
like, let's go. We'll find something.
You are in the market square. The time is yours.
Get a good feel for the
Shopping
people.
episode.
I'm sure they see all kinds around here, so who knows?
I have not seen any of my kind yet,
Well,
but,
that's fair. But
Yeah, you get used to it.
and everyone has been watching me.
A good clothier would be glad for the challenge.
yes.
So yeah, Kashak, actually, as you move through this square, you get looks, but the market is such an eclectic place anyway. It's not that they're shocked to see you, it's just something else new.
It'd be like somebody coming to Philly and just not being prepared to see, like, Gritty.
Yeah, right.
Or Philly Elmo.
There are a plethora of represented races in this place. So everything that you could look for outside of the like really esoteric ones.
We're in a morally neutral world, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Morally horny world.
Yeah, morally horny.
Damn,
That's
you're
how
right.
it describes it, yes.
We're horny, but we have
We'll
moral?
find out.
Yeah, okay.
Morals, but everybody's super horny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says
Which is like where the world I want to live in. The time is yours. What would you like to do?
I'm lost in thoughts. I'm brooding.
Let's find a tailor
Go shopping,
or
yeah.
a clothier, or maybe just a fabric person. I don't know.
Neither do
Look around the store.
You continue to mull about the market until you come across an entire, hesitant to say street, but like it is a section designated to clothing, tailors, spinners, weavers, jewelers, anything you wear. There is a section specifically for it.
That looks like our best bet. Let's have a look. I guess I'll keep an eye out for anyone that looks more like it might deal in the style of clothing that might suit Kashak or things like that.
Sort of upscale, maybe, or just general wear.
I think a more exotic wear that would have more of a taste for something that's a little out of the ordinary.
Okay, great. You make your way along. There's basically anything you could dream of you can find, but you do catch one that holds your eye.
Like, I'm not looking for Men's Warehouse.
No, sure.
We're looking for...
Milatrope's exotic wares. You see. And
What's
outside, it's another storefront, like an actual building. But set outside are several whatever you want, models or dummies or whatever you call. It seems to cater to wares outside the Arcadian fashion.
This might be our best bet.
Oh, let's take a look.
You make your way inside, and the walls are lined with clothing that probably is unfamiliar to many of you. It seems to cater to like a really exotic tastes. And you see, sort of standing at the counter, presumably Meliotrope, a human.
The suspense. Weather, races.
Yes, a human with she has one of those, like the tomatoes on her wrist with a bunch of pens in it, and she seems to be like sort of feverishly putting something together at the desk. But she sort of looks up with spectacles halfway down her nose as she sees you all enter. She slides them up and kind of casts what she's working on aside and sort of like quickly tries to put herself together. Welcome to Meliotrope's Fine Goods. What is it I can do for you this fine day?
I just
Well-
point at Kashek.
Good day, ma'am. We're looking for more, perhaps like...
We've got somewhere fancy to be.
And she takes a look at you, Kasek, and sort of like adjusts her spectacles, like moves them back and forth. Well, now, please do excuse my rudeness. I don't mean to gawk, but I don't believe I've ever met one of your kind before.
Pleasure to meet you then.
The pleasure is all mine, indeed. And she sort of like looks you up and down. I think I could make something custom to suit your needs. You're attending some sort of event?
Yes, a fancy dinner.
For the festival, I assume.
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
So sort of a fancier, maybe more colourful version of this.
He
We
shakes
can
and some
accommodate
steam comes
that.
out.
Yeah, I think we can accommodate that. Yes. The Mirandavelia is a treasured and sacred time of the year. I believe I can whip something up for you that will be just to your liking. And she sort of moves out from behind the desk, pulling a tape measure from out of her sleeve, sort of like...
Yeah.
You're gonna want to stay still for this.
You can
He's
breathe,
so
breathe.
good.
You can breathe.
Just lift your arms and extend your wings, if you'd be so kind. She spends the next few minutes just sort of...
It's a wingspan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Taking your measurements, Kashek. Yes, I think so. Using your base clothing as a reference, as a base. Yes, I think I could have something done in a couple of days. Does that suit your purposes?
Well, we do have somewhere to be tomorrow night. We only just got in this morning.
But of course, a rush job then. Yes, I think I can accommodate this.
Willing to provide more coin if necessary for the time expended.
Well, this is the Grand Square, and coin is perhaps more important than time here.
Well, glad to hear it then.
She could not possibly complete such an outfit in a day. How are you?
I beg your pardon. She sort of lifts her glasses up. I've never yet met a frame I cannot elegantly suit. I shall see your needs more than satisfied.
I have offended you. All I am meaning to say is that how do you make the animal spin faster?
Make what?
How do you make the animals spin faster?
She's already got the fabric. She just needs to cut it and sew it.
You must be very wealthy.
Well, I suppose that's a matter of perspective, isn't it? Never really evaluated my own station. Thank you for the insight. I shall have your clothes in post-haste.
Many thanks.
Anything else you'll be needing?
I've been being suspiciously inching to the back of the group with one eye on Surrie, hoping that she's not gonna go, "You!"
Is there anything off the rack, clothing?
Yeah, there's
already
lots of
made?
stuff set up. I mean, they're sort of like mannequins,
Right,
if
yeah,
you
you
will,
said, yeah.
all around the place. Yeah.
What's it look like? What? Give me a.
So,
Just a sample of a
so
couple.
you've seen what Arcadian fashion looks like, and it is nothing like that. In fact, it seems sort of a myriad, really.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a common theme to the garments. They seem to be pulled from a variety of sources and cultural influences. So if there's something you like, I'm more than happy to have you describe it.
Sure. Sure. I'll need to think though.
Sure, yeah, take your time.
Anyone else?
I'm alright. I've already got what I need, but thank you.
Seren?
Do you think I need something else?
Do you think you need something else?
I don't know how to answer that question, sorry.
Do you have a large, lovely cloak that can go over that?
Yes.
What's most important is that you're comfortable. So,
Yeah.
As long as the cloak's nice and clean, don't see why not.
Yeah.
You could look like a monk or a religious person or something.
Well, I am a monk.
Perfect.
Right, okay, so no
we
clothes
not-
fine for me, let's go.
You. Goodness gracious me. And she walks up and sort of like feels at your clothing. Who dressed you? They have no idea how to suit a frame like yours. God, I would
You know,
kill for
Surrie
your...
did this.
I helped you.
I would kill for your bone structure and musculature. I could make you look like a princess of Orlais.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Of course, you go about your business as you would.
That's very kind of you. In our line of work, it's a little bit useless for me to wear nice things because inevitably I get blood on them.
Ah, I see.
But we're going to a party.
You never know what's going to happen.
You're
part
right.
of the guild, then.
The what?
No.
Oh, the Adventurers Guild.
No, it's just well, it was the 4 of us and then there were 2 of us and now there's 4 of us again.
Currently freelance.
Interesting. Well, I might point you to the direction of the guild if you are, if adventuring is your line of work.
Couldn't hurt.
Hold on then. Wait a moment. And she looks at you. And she looks at you, Surrie. Oh my goodness. What have I done? The stewards.
Well, sort
Sure.
of, yes.
2 of them.
2 of
I
them.
suppose.
You ought to be the guests of honor. Oh my god. And she sort of like
No,
bows
stop doing that.
deep
Please
and
don't.
low. I am
It's
so
okay.
sick.
No,
it
I'm
would
like
be
helping
more
her.
than my
No,
pleasure
no,
to
no,
provide you
please,
services free of charge.
Stop.
We
No,
would love to honor
absolutely
you
not.
here in
Hey,
Arcadia.
artists,
capital.
what the what?
No need to apologize. We're just. It's fine.
Yes.
Don't
Kashet
worry about
Please.
it.
Moves forward and like starts picking her up.
You're fallen. Oh, just in revelry of your reputations precede you so.
They really shouldn't.
Well, it would be my distinguished and esteemed pleasure to create a refinery for your stay here in the capital.
Well, if that were the case, then we would be happy to let everyone know where we found such finery. If that would be to your liking.
The word of such distinguished adventurers and heroes would carry much weight here in the Grand Square. I shall move your items to the very top of the list. They shall be ready first thing tomorrow. How does that sound?
We'd be very grateful.
Wonderful.
I shall make a garment for each of you.
Oh.
Work through the night, no haste.
You really
No,
stop.
you really
don't
have
have
to
to.
No,
do
no, no, no,
that.
no, 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 no.
You should sleep. though.
Meryl Throop keeps to her word, and it is my job and duty to keep the denizens and heroes of Arcadia looking their very best. Come to me on the morn, and you shall have refinery the likes you have never seen before. Each of you.
You know, I keep that one myself actually.
That is exceedingly kind of you,
Yes.
ma'am.
It is exceedingly kind for you to grace my shop.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Yes, please return tomorrow, and I shall have something for each of you.
Excellent. Don't hurt yourself, as it were.
Please.
Drink lots of water.
Please.
If you need to
I've
rest.
weathered much in my days. This will be nothing.
All
I
right.
suppose we'll,
Quite sure.
we'll let you get to it then.
Many graciousness. Please return tomorrow, and you shall not be displeased.
Have a lovely rest of your day then, ma'am. We'll be off now.
Let's go. Goodbye.
And you do so.
Well, you know, it's not that hard for her to say that she'd make finery like we'd never seen. It's not like they've seen many fine things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was fun.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn that into something.
It's not your fault at all.
She had eyes that were not going to be dissuaded.
Would you rather make an impression?
Yeah, well. Pink, purple, yellow, bird.
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
It's not a bad thing. We're each going to get some lovely fancy clothes free of charge.
I'm paying her.
I'm paying her.
You're paying her.
All right.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but
It's no two shakes to me either way, but she seemed like she'd be offended if we tried to offer coin to her.
well,
What time is it?
At this point, wandering through the city, visiting shops, we'll say it's about midday.
We got an early start.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, you arrived in the city as like the sun was coming up.
So I know. And
would
we're
you-
going to spread word of mouth to how excellent her talents
Yes, of course.
are. So keep checking
That's
things
fine.
off the list. Anything
That's fine.
anyone else wants to do while we're out here, or should we?
Those were my 2 stops, books and clothes.
Do you think we should go find one of all 3 of the successors and have a chat? I know Chauncey said we should have dinner with them, but
What do we've got?
Not dinner necessarily, just they are. What Angier said is they've been notified that you're in the capital and sort of are awaiting a call.
should we go make some social visits then?
We could see them for a luncheon or
Sure. Yeah.
whatever they do here in the city proper.
Don't want to keep them for too long.
Alright, fine, let's go.
Does anyone need any? We're not a particularly armored set of individuals. Any weapons?
She actually looks
I
more.
keep hearing hammers around. So
My shit's pretty good, actually.
She actually looks more comfortable than you've seen her, and just like brandishes her fists a little bit. These are all I need.
wow, tough thing to say.
You haven't seen her punch anything yet.
Should write that down. Anyway, back to Castle.
I lean over to Seren and I'm like, does she like me or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Heading back to the
I
palace.
was not looking at you through that. I was
Yeah, I know.
making away.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, heading back to the palace. As you make your way through the courtyard and up the steps to the second floor to where your accommodations were, you again see Chauncey standing outside the sort of hallway to your accommodations.
A successful trip to the market then.
Like you wouldn't
Yes.
believe, Chauncey.
Oh, excellent, most excellent. Is there anything I could provide for you upon your return?
We thought we might, whenever it suits them, of course, either dine with or discuss simply our meet with the. I don't even know what to call them when they're not dukes or duchesses.
The success.
The successors. That's
And you would be most pleased. Yes, their chambers lie on the 3rd floor. Is there one in particular you wish to visit first?
Oh.
Is it improper to meet them individually or all together?
They are rather busy with matters of state and their own personal affairs. Each could be found within their own private chambers.
Alright.
I suppose just whichever one we come across first then.
Closest one to the stairs, then.
Most expert, follow me if you will.
Whoever's got the time.
And he leads you sort of up another sort of elaborate flight of stairs until you come to a sort of level of the building. There's sort of a switchback staircase leading up. 3 doors is what you meet as you come up. Up the stairs. One to the north, one to the south, and one directly in front of you.
These are the chambers of the successors. Casca you may find straight ahead. Bernard is to your right, and Alasia will be found to your left.
What?
Might as well start with.
Are these doors?
Yeah.
He's gonna walk up to one.
Yes!
Which one?
The middle one.
Directly ahead?
Yeah.
So Casca's.
The closest one.
Decision made.
Knock, knock.
Do you say
Do you
knock
say
out
knock
loud?
knock?
Quietly to himself.
Sure, yeah.
Expert, I shall await here in the main chamber.
Endlessly helpful,
Alright.
Chauncey. Thank you.
But of course, it is my duty and life's work.
So all of you following Kashek to...
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He
if you
hasn't
just
stopped.
He's
if
done
you
so
just
well.
go
Okay, okay.
if you just go straight ahead, that's Casca's chamber.
Gotcha.
If,
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she
I
had
think-
you.
yes.
You rap multiple times on the chamber door.
And then you're physically restrained by your friends.
And then from inside you hear a voice ring out. You may enter.
I kind of elbow Alcyone in front of the deck.
And I'll go ahead and open the door.
You do so, and stepping inside, Casca's chambers more resemble a barracks than sort of any personal quarters. All along the walls, weapons racks, armor hanging from holsters are found all along the walls. There even seems to be somewhat of a sort of makeshift sparring ring to one side of it. There's no one else in the chamber except for across the way you see sat at a desk, poring over what look to be maps. You see, presumably, Cascade Arcadia. She sits at her desk. The sort of brownish Mediterranean skin that is common that you've seen throughout the capital city here, and sort of a golden brown hair, short, the back pulled back into a tight ponytail with the bangs hanging down, framing her face, and sort of piercing blue eyes that look up at you as you make your way into the chamber. She sat at her desk dressed rather Spartanly, sort of a loose-fitting linen shirt with tighter sort of moss green pants. It's really just the kind of clothes that you're meant to throw armor over at a moment's notice. Mm-hmm. Standing next to her behind the desk is a dragonborn of a sharp brass coloration with gold bangles clasped around his horns that curl out from the back of his head, wearing deep maroon robes. And as you make your way into the chamber, she looks up and meets all of your eyes in turn.
As she does it, then I will.
I will also give a inclination.
You'll forgive me if I don't stand at ceremony. Your reputation does indeed precede you, but adoration light enough to be carried on the wind is no better than gossip. I prefer to make my own judgments of character, if you don't mind.
I would thank you for it.
At which point she stands. I am Cascade Arcadia, and I will be the next Duke of this republic. You are the heroes I was told to expect, yes?
Yes.
We seem to be.
It is very fine to meet you, then. Please, do have a seat.
She gestures to an array of chairs sort of set before her desk.
Sparring pit or...
This is all double as a conversation.
Please, choose a
pit.
weapon. that was actually Kashek laughing, by the way.
Yes.
That's, okay. You looked at me weird and I was like, that's not me.
No.
Angies has told me of your coming. It is good to meet you, finally. What can I do for you?
The question perhaps is more, what can we do for you? We were informed that you have keen interest in terms of expanding the military presence and the strength of Arcadia as a republic itself. We're intrigued to hear about what exactly you intend.
Your intel is good. Too long has Arcadia relied upon its geographic isolation for defense and the strength of our merchant navy. But I believe moving forward that will not be enough as we emerge as a world power on the full stage. Already a new avenue of attack has been opened up. Not unthanks to your efforts. She looks to you and you. Causeway to our old nemesis open once again raises many alarms. I believe it is time to reinvigorate and reevaluate the military presence of the Republic, and that is what I intend to do as Duchess.
Seems more than reasonable.
I forget myself. Please, let me introduce Calcerix, my retainer. As she gestures to the Dragonborn standing stoically behind her, who, grunts. 2 little jets of smoke come out of his nostrils.
Humanon.
He is my protector and advisor. I suppose you'll be wanting to know what, if any, service you could perform for me, then.
We're just helpful folk like that, as it happens.
Well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Lead with a good foot, is all I say.
The most pressing matter, and I expect if you talk to my siblings, they'll say the same. The most immediate matter is some monstrosity rampaging through the Keeplands. There have been 2 attempts to corral it thus far, and both have failed miserably. If you are as good as your reputation says, it should be no trouble at all for you to corral.
That sounds like... Oh.
Miranda's Keep.
Yes. Last I heard, it was heading towards Honor Guard. An old Mott and Bailey of
historical import and now noble requisite. I believe Hector and Mark has been put in charge of corralling the monster. You may wish to speak further to him if you want more information.
When did this monster first reveal itself?
It's been running rampant for a matter of weeks now. As I said, 2 attempts have been made to stop it. One a band of hunters, another of the Lion's Guard. All failed.
Have you any information that Hector does not about this thing?
As I said, Hector has been placed at the charge of dealing with this. He will have more privy information than I may have.
Then it will not do for us to bother you for specifics then.
No, I suppose not. But again, I forget myself. Welcome again to the city. You have my most hearty welcome.
Grateful for it.
I do look forward to a partnership between us if one is to be had. But know that I am not swayed by the guile of court opinion in the way that others are. You shall prove yourselves to me.
I prefer it that way.
Can all owls do the shifting into attack mode thing?
I mean, they puff up a bit.
Yeah.
They can, yeah.
All owls can do that?
Yeah.
And aarakocras are rare?
Yeah.
Cool. So, Kashek might have looked a little differently if anybody was paying very hard attention.
Have I offended you, Master Kashek?
No. They would notice.
So right when we came in, he shifted in. Is what you're saying?
Once she started talking, it'd be subtle.
I don't mean to keep adventurers such as yourselves waiting, unless there is anything else you'd rather discuss.
No, that's an important first step for us. We were just wondering if there's anything we should know or discuss with you before the feast.
As I said, Hector will be privy to all relevant information. Otherwise, I do look forward to enjoying and celebrating the feast with you all.
I admire your directness.
In matters of state, directness is a necessity. Otherwise, we risk the lives, many real lives, for our own games and pleasures.
An astonishing rarity.
I would quite agree.
Unless my compatriots have anything else to add, thank you very much.
You keep referring to it as a causeway.
Yes, the old valley, Barovia. Long ago, we were subject to the whims and wishes of the European Empire, and it was our great founder queen that freed us from that grasp. Now that a causeway has been opened to them, I don't believe it is outside the realm of reason to be worried and investigate further into what may happen, in addition to all the unpleasantries that have gripped our republic thus far.
What happens to the lives there?
Barovia,
Yes.
they are free to live as they have, unless they pose a threat to my republic.
Very well.
It was nice to meet you all. I've been told multiple times I need to work on my personability.
We've been told much the same.
This is fair. Again, thank you for coming to our city, and thank you for lending your efforts to the cause of all Arcadians. I do look forward to celebrating the feast with you tomorrow eve.
Thank you for having us.
We look to see you then. Stand, nod, bow, turn.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Bow and then leave.
And as you turn to go, she immediately sort of turns back to the maps and documents she was pouring.
Sure, that's fair. You don't have to knock when we exit the room. You can just sort of walk out.
No.
Saw you going for the stick. Oh, he was.
You make you make your way back out onto the main landing. Chauncey's still waiting dutifully there.
Yes.
Rather Spartan in approach, Miss Casca, but she does have the good of the Republic at heart.
Yes.
Quite evident.
Which side, Kashek? You did
Yeah,
amazing picking the
Do
fast
the
one.
honors.
Left it is then.
Alasia's quarters. You walk to the door, knocking.
Yeah.
This time,
Please.
He's not gonna not knock.
And this time, you hear an ethereal voice almost answer. Please, do come in.
I'll open the door this time. For Alcyone and let her go in front of me.
As you enter Alasia's personal chambers, you kind of have to reconcile what you're seeing. At first, you think you're stepping back outside. But then you realize, no, that doesn't make much sense. You're still in the building. But a
carpet of grass runs the entire length of the chamber, and all along the walls, trees and shrubbery sprouts amongst the entire room, seemingly enchanted to look like that of a whimsical forest. There is sort of a stone pathway leading and serpentine back and forth through the chamber, and even like a trickling sort of brook running out of a fountain, and even you catch sight of maybe even like a small critter skittering back and forth.
Oh, well, that changes
Do I?
my plans.
You do.
Does anyone notice him tense?
He tenses. He's wise enough not
I
to go for it,
probably
but
Okay.
he certainly.
Maybe not here. Thank you.
As you make your way into the chambers, along the ceiling, you see these like sort of floating orbs of light that seem to radiate almost true sunlight as you make your way in, like giving the whole room the appearance of a forest glade. At the end of the chamber, you see, emerging between perhaps a thicket of trees, Alasia. She wears a long sort of velour satin white gown. Her hair flows in pleasant golden curls down, almost like a cape flowing to almost the bottom of her ankles. And she wears sort of like a silver circlet around her forehead. She is flanked to one side by what seems to be a knight out of a storybook. In full plate armor with a helm, you know, with the sort of slits of the jousting knight stood beside her. Whereas Casca sat at her desk as you entered, Alasia almost glides forward to meet you. You must be the heroes out of Barovia.
Bow, same as I did.
My friends, you do not bow in this chamber. And she deeply bows low to all of you, her sort of knightly guard following in tow.
My lady, my sincerest apologies, but would you mind? And I kind of wiggled the little one out of my shirt a little bit. He just hasn't had a chance to stretch his legs very much.
Goodness me, what a precious little life. Yes, whatever it is he needs.
Just put him down.
Dimitri, the little baby, like feeling grass under his feet again, spins his head back around to you, eyes wide with excitement and anticipation.
Yes, go ahead.
And then begins bounding off, splashing in the little stream that runs through it and darting above the boughs and leaves of the bushes and trees.
So cute.
Can I offer you anything? I'm sure your trip here must have been arduous.
Actually, Chancellor Angiers was exceedingly kind. He offered us many luxuries.
He's a generous and kind soul, if not a bit too preoccupied with the politics.
Indeed.
She doesn't change. I don't change like my facial expression, body language, anything, but she's already like kind of putting the weapons away.
Allow me, please, to introduce my retainer and protector, Monsieur Henri Lemessif, from faraway Olay. As he removes his helmet, he's sort of like,
Handsome as fuck.
he looks like Prince Charming, you
Oh,
know, like with the long, flowing golden locks.
Sure.
As he removes his helmet, again bows deeply. Bonsoir. It's a pleasure is all mine.
We're having the exact opposite reactions. Madison and Robin, that is.
Robin's like, oh, fucking French, and I'm like, oh, bonsoir.
What's the opposite of a horny? I'm that.
My friends, do make yourselves comfortable. I have an excellent selection of fruits and cakes. Please, dine yourselves to your content.
Is there anything to like sit on? Anything like moss covered? I have to assume.
But of course. And she sort of snaps her fingers, and as she does, growing out of the grass below, it seems like vines sort of twist and shape themselves into sort of like lawn chair-like chairs and tables and etc., all for your sitting convenience.
I wait for her to sit, and then I say nothing.
She does so. She sort of glides over to an austere-looking chair, of which sort of like cherry blossoms are now blooming out of, and elegantly takes a seat, still sort of holding her hands out.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
What?
What are you trying
What
to
are you
determine?
doing?
We're gonna get you.
No, for what? You gotta say what the fuck you're
Is
doing.
this an act?
Okay.
I got an 11, so it doesn't matter.
She's like putting on airs, but it just doesn't seem like disingenuous.
Okay. This is just like the company is coming, not the like.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Henri Le Massif takes his place, hands clasped behind his back by her side.
When Angiers told me of your coming, I grew most excited. I believe a partnership between you and myself could prove greatly beneficial for our dear beloved Republic. Tell me, have any of you ever been here before?
Serena.
Not,
Sort of.
yes, not this far into the city, but we've been around, yes.
Well, allow me to make my most esteemed and happy welcomes to your first visit to the capital.
Thank you. Grateful for it.
I must say, successor, this is quite the parlor you've got for yourself here.
Thank you. I know it may seem a bit austere, but something about being amongst nature reminds me to stay humble and connected to my roots. Keeps a proper frame of mind when thinking of what is really important when it comes to matters of state. You understand?
I suppose such matters are quite beyond me, but I get the gist of what you mean.
Beg my intrusion, I cry your pardon, but are you not Mistress Alcyone of the Canny Shepherds?
To the first, yes. To the second, no longer, unfortunately. I've gone separate ways, but found new company.
But I do understand their new carnival aspect does seem to play to baser expectations than they did before.
Did not quite suit my skill set any longer, so I decided to set out and, well, fell in with such excellent company as this, I could hardly complain.
Most naturally, you are greatly welcome.
I'm grateful you've recognized me so.
Oh, but of course, a talent such as yours does not leave the mind so easily.
Very kind to hear you say so. Please, what can we do to aid you and assist you? We, of course, have heard many things about your designs upon aiding the realm as a whole.
Yes, but of course, my siblings, gentle and grand as their aspirations may be, I fear they forget what makes Arcadia truly what it is, and that is the strength and prosperity of its citizenry. Without a strong, healthy people, we are nothing. I believe many in government forget that. And as Duchess, I aim to remind them.
I would like to keep an eye on Henri while this is happening.
You have questions, Mother?
No, merely listening, that's all.
Pay Henri no mind. He simply looks to my betterment and protection. Oui, it's true. I tend to the lady's needs, whatever they may be.
Maybe he's simple.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was me. That was not her.
No change of face, log that away.
Yeah.
Well, as one of those citizens, I cannot disagree with you.
Indeed. Where is it that you hail from?
Far in the depths of the Wolf's Wood, a small village.
What is it?
Oh, sorry. By the name Wyvern Glen, I just didn't think it would be worth knowing.
But of course. Much of our most famous timber comes from that area. The merchants of the merchant fleet would not be able to sail out of the bay, I reckon, without your fine timber.
Well, I suppose you could thank my father for that, mostly.
And I should like to one day.
I wish
Iris was here.
I wish my father were here.
Hello, I heard there was this sad child I needed to come home.
SpongeBob's through the wall.
SpongeBob's through the wall, and then one Dissimos out of his shirt.
Alcyone just minor illusions it back on every time.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
My friends, it gladdens my heart greatly to see you here. And please, I hope you shan't be at all fretful to call upon my aid if there is anything you need during your tenure here in the capital.
Thank you, my lady, but it was my understanding that both my understanding and my pleasure to make us available for anything that you might require.
Angie, as always, has his machinations. I hope desperately that you won't do anything in my name or honor that does not also congrue with your own wishes.
I make it a point never to do that, my lady. So, for whatever that is worth.
Well,
Likewise.
being that the case, I suppose the most immediate matter, and I believe if you speak to my siblings, they shall say the same. There is some terrible monster. Many have described it as a dragon itself, rampaging through the keeplands.
Has it ever come as far as the city down here?
No. Blessedly not. But still, you can understand my concern that many of our people are in danger as long as this monster is let loose upon our so close to the capital.
It does seem quite a threat.
Indeed, and worries me deeply. Hector St. Mark, I believe, has been put in charge with its disposal. You may speak to him more if you wish to learn more of its comings and goings.
And what would you have us do with this monster? Is this simply eradicate it, or?
Well, truly, as long as the outcome is that our people are made safe, I care not what happens to the beast. I would assume Casca would want its head to mount above the ducal throne. Bernard would probably want a bit of its blood or other juices for study. I simply care that the people are taken care of.
A noble aspiration.
Thank you, my lady.
I am your humble servant, and gracious for your praise.
At risk of being too direct, then, if there was nothing else you would have of us, if the safety of the people is in such question, then it might behoove us to move quickly, then.
I would quite agree.
Then I believe we will take our leave.
But of course, I will not get in the way of adventurers such as yourself. An exciting lifestyle I unfortunately know not of, but trust deeply in your abilities. Know that.
Thank you. I suppose we shall see you then at the feast tomorrow, and we should likely set out immediately afterwards, I should think.
Oh yes, but of course. I will leave that to your judgment. But truly it has been a pleasure meeting you all. I hope you won't be strangers.
Not at all, good successor. It's a pleasure and a delight to meet you in your lovely bower.
Many thanks.
Little one. Come along.
He sort of like elopes over to you and kind of climbs up your leg and reaches his little hand up.
Of course. Yes.
Good to see he is precious, isn't he?
Yes.
I admit I've heard tell of his species, but we do not see many around here. Where did you come by him?
The answer's the same.
Truly, Barovia.
Is that right?
Yes.
Much we have to learn from the old valley, separated as it has been for so long.
Yes.
Well, I shall keep you no longer. Please, be about your business.
Very good
Important
to
as I know it is.
Very good to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
My time is yours.
Thank the lady, little one.
And you go. And you make your way back to the main landing.
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey's still standing dutifully there.
2, 3, that by my count.
Thank you, Chauncey.
I suppose that leaves one. Let's get to it.
That was real grass and tree and bush and all.
Yes.
Sure.
That's just some impressive magics to be so concentrated in such a place and have such a fine control over it as she did.
To my knowledge, repeated practice of the same enchantments will inevitably... Well, the word that was told to me was mar, but I change permanently, is my understanding.
Even so, the skill and fortitude to maintain that over such a length of time is worthy of note.
At risk of being overheard, that bodes a little better than my first impression of her. If she's got that sort of control, then I'd hardly ask her to weaponize it, but it might be easy to.
There's clearly more to her than a kind heart, though that she possesses.
You're the last one, I suppose.
To the last.
The honours are yours again.
Kashek,
Kashek.
please.
Hmm?
Kashek, the door.
The last door, please. If you would like to. Have at it.
You rap upon the final door, which gives a sort of tinny sound.
Oh, it's a tinny
tinny
sound.
sort of sound.
Oh. From inside, you hear a sudden commotion. Just one moment, please.
There we
Please
go.
do it. And you hear sort of a big commotion and crashing as it seems several things.
This is my guy. This is my guy.
I was like, this woman seems too good to be real. And
Yeah, so, just one moment, please. I'll be right there. This time, the door opens before you, and standing in it, a man in sort of long sky blue robes. The sort of same golden brown hair the other two siblings have exhibited. This one with circular spectacles slid down the length of his nose, and bright blue eyes with a big chipper grin on his face as he greets you all at the door. I have long waited this day. I was told if you're coming, please do come in. And he sort of like, and he has to sort of force the door open as it shoves clutter aside. And as you step into this room, very unlike the two that you've been in before, the walls are completely dominated by bookshelves, much like you saw in Vasily's volumes. But the most outstanding feature of the room is an enormous telescope, which moves all the way up through the chambers, the top of which seems to move through the roof and poke out the roof of the palace itself.
Hope so.
It's an incredibly impressive contraption, which sort of has a seat built into it right around the viewport. And that sort of dominates the entire structure of the whole room. Otherwise just laden with books and bits and baubles and things of all sort of manic nature. Also inside the room you see what seems to be a small halfling. Sort of digging his way out of a pile of books. Bright, almost fire red hair and beard. Also with the same sort of spectacles sliding down his nose as he clambers out of a stack of books, walking over to you. Please, I do forget my manners. This is my tutor, Sindri Stumbleduck. Please say hello, Sindri. Ah, Sindri Stumbleduck. The pleasure be all mine. Welcome to the capital.
And what a pleasure it is to meet the two of you.
This child's head is very large.
halflings do not have
Yes, they
giant
do! Cannon!
Please do come in and find yourself. And he sort of like looks a little concerted and makes his way over and begins immediately
my lord,
pushing
my lord.
volumes and scrolls off of a table
Don't
and
even worry
clearing
about
seating
it.
space.
All right.
I'm saying this in utter sincerity. I slept on a floor for many years. You do not need to find a comfortable seat for me.
Well, that is gracious of you. Please do come in, make yourselves comfortable. Can I fetch you anything?
Our needs have been quite seen to by dear Chauncey, but thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, and just told me of your coming. My name is Bernard de Arcadia. It is my esteemed pleasure to meet you all. Such tales of adventure I've heard about each of you. If half of them are true, I am very gracious to meet your coming.
We're equally as excited to meet you.
The ones I've heard of us and goings on, they haven't been, so I'm sorry if we do not live up to your expectations.
Not at all. Honestly, the more down-to-earth exploits of real heroes far outstrip the mythologized versions we read in books.
Yes, agreed.
Can't but agree.
Have you found your stay in the capital been satisfactory so far?
Yes.
Yes, very.
Oh, most excellent. Is there anything I can do to accentuate your visit to our esteemed republic?
Well, I think that remains to be seen. We're here to avail ourselves to you.
A partnership, and just hopes to break the stalemate in the Senate by having you win glory for one of us, I suppose.
That's his plan,
We
yes.
did know that already.
Well, of course, if you've spoken to my siblings already. Have you, by the way?
Yes, both
Yes.
of them.
What is your take on them? I'm most curious.
You represent a fascinating trifecta of personality.
Yes. Each would take the Republic in its own very separate direction.
And yours said much the same.
I expect he would, yes.
And what direction would you take the Republic in, if I may be so bold to ask?
What an excellent question, and I thank you for it. There is so much we don't know about our own culture.
Our entire city is built around a relic and ruin we know nothing of. The city has existed for 6 centuries, and not once in all that time has anyone be able to find purchase or admittance into the very tower we are built around. It is a time of darkness and uncertainty in our republic. I believe the answers to our current troubles may be found through greater exploration of our past.
Master Bernard, if I may continue to be bold in your presence.
Oh, but of course, treat me as you would an old friend you've known from the age of whenever you can remember.
Surrey's my oldest friend.
Oh, treat me as you would Surrie then.
Sorry. There keeps being mention made of the darkness around the land. And some rumours have been tossed our way, but if you could enlighten us as to what specifically your worries are.
Yes. Well, there is much that plagues the Republic at present, which I won't bore you with now. The most immediate danger is this sort of creature or monster that ransacks the keeplands. But there is much beyond that. I expect each of my siblings will have a different priority for you to establish. I indeed have my own. That is the most pressing, however. I shan't bore you with further details until you are ready for them, of course.
We were told that Sir Hector is leading the charge against the beast.
Yes, just been made captain, as I understand.
Yes. Should you have any information that he wouldn't be privy to?
I wouldn't believe so. I understand vaguely that there have been 2 efforts to grab the beast thus far, both unsuccessful. Hector would probably be privy to more than any of us.
As much as we heard from your sisters.
I'm sorry, I can't be more help.
No, just any information is useful.
But of course, it's unlike, I do know it's unlike anything that's been seen within the realm of the Republic before, and it has caused quite a stir. I would be fascinated, if you do choose to pursue this task, I would be fascinated to, if a sample, or some other such, could be recovered from the beast. I believe perhaps something could be learned of it.
An admirable goal, for certain.
Understanding always brings more than destruction.
Yes.
You'll find no disagreement among us there.
We are of one mind, then. Capital. Capital, indeed.
At which point you just hear a loud sound.
I look over at Sindri.
He's gone.
Oh god.
That does happen from time to time.
What?
Of his own accord, or...?
Well, you see, Sindri has a long and complicated relationship with the Conjuration School of Magics. He will disappear from time to time and come back with terrific tales when he does reappear.
Oh, interesting.
That's fascinating.
Kashek has wandered over to the telescope.
Okay, great. Bernard sort of notices you want it. Ah, yes, is it...
Stop.
Not hard.
Tapping it. Yeah, when you do so, it sort of rings through the whole apparatus. It is a finely constructed bit of machinery. Yes, capital, isn't it? My pride and joy. With it, I hope to examine the stars, as I have heard there is much to be learned from them.
Are your eyes broken?
Well, no, but even in their current decent state, I cannot witness the stars in the glory that I should wish to. This does help me with that. Would you like a peek, Master? Kashek, I believe it was, yes? Well, please, by all means. No, you look through that little bit there, he says.
Oh, curious.
It's pointed directly at the sun.
It is daylight, so you probably won't be able to see much. But currently, it is pointed at the sun. You know, and that sort of that like where you can see just sort of the glimmer of the glimmer of the moon.
Yeah.
During daylight hours, and you witness the surface of the moon in detail you have never seen before in your entire life, even with your sharp owl eyes.
I must tell the others of this.
What have you seen?
A white orb.
Does he know what the moon is?
Everyone knows what the moon is.
That was me.
Oh, sorry.
He's never seen it that close up before. He may not have.
Could you be talking about the moon?
No, the moon is bright at night.
Ah, yes, but the moon, despite much mythologizing, is a heavenly body just as the planets are. Quite close to our own planet, indeed. I have examined it many a time.
With their permission?
I'm sorry?
Is that Surrie? I look over at Surrie's face and... Pardon me, old habits die
Not at all. Not at all.
Sorry.
Out of curiosity, what is it you hope to learn from the stars?
Well, the tower is called the Tower of the Stars for some reason, I do imagine. And I wish to unlock its secrets.
I find that to be a more than not only interesting but worthy goal. If you needed the validation of a humble adventurer.
Ah, well, it is much accepted. Thank you, Mistress Alcyone. You are too kind.
Certainly. If there's nothing else, I think we could leave you to your business and the return of dear Sindri.
Oh, he'll be back in a matter of days, I assure you.
Sure, sure.
All right.
Right.
Or minutes, or whatever it else is.
All right. Well,
Thank you for your time.
Yes. If you wish to speak to Hector, I believe his offices are on the first floor of the ducal palace. I do look forward to seeing you at the celebration tomorrow eve.
Yes.
Yes.
Should be
Likewise.
quite an event for us all.
One I look forward to indeed. Good day, and a pleasure meeting you all.
And you.
pleasure's
Thank you.
ours.
And as you turn to go, you again hear a loud as Sindri
There he
reappears,
is.
as if he's been deep underwater, soaked to the bone.
No.
There were pungs everywhere!
Close the door.
God. Oh no! I love it.
You know, at another time, that might actually have been a fascinating conversation to listen in on. But I know we're kind of doing stuff.
God.
How do we all feel about a monster hunting expedition today?
Today.
So here's the thing. We arrived here early morning today, and I don't know if we're going to be able to make it out there and then back in a day.
All right.
Right.
I mean, unless...
I
Would we...
It's not far to the Keeplands. It's basically like
Oh,
it's kind of yeah. I mean, could you make it out there and back in the before sundown by horse? Yes, but
tomorrow?
well within a day. Yeah, for sure. If
I
you,
don't know, I
like,
guess
left
I'm
tomorrow.
imagining that. I guess I imagine that much further away than it is.
Yeah, well, that might be just because of the map. I mean, the Keeplands are sort of the stretch outside of the city.
It's like the main line.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the main line.
I thought it was like a couple days away.
No. Well, by the map, you might draw that conclusion, but it's basically the
Well,
area
yeah.
directly outside Portside, Driftwood, Buzzards Bay, up
Okay.
until the actual keep. It's like a stretch of a couple of miles.
We came a little bit through there.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, And what time is it about now?
Probably mid-afternoon, 1, 2.
Do you want to try and squeeze it into today's busy schedule, or should we try and make it leave early in the morning and get back before the feast?
Let's go talk to Hector and see what he
Right.
thinks.
That's a good idea.
I'm just getting a bit itchy with walls around me.
We only just got here today.
Thank you, Kashek. It's very kind of you. That's a little painful, Kashek. I really appreciate it.
Sharp and pointing, sharp and pointing.
So, we're going to talk to Hector?
yes.
Let's see if we can find the poor man.
Excellent. You move back to the Ducal Palace. Entering onto the first floor, you find sort of the headquarters of the Lions Guard, which is sort of the internal military force for the city itself. You find your way, we'll say, asking around, you get directed towards Hector's offices. Knocking upon, you hear, "Please do come in." Moving into his chambers, it's a messy affair. Right across his desk seems to be documents, dossiers of all manner, shape, and size. And he looks a little frazzled, actually. Considerably more so than at least when you left him last.
This guy's pretty young, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah, definitely. Probably like mid-20s, you would guess, by human standards.
Ginger?
Auburn.
Oh, but wait. I was waiting to see what we established.
I like the implication that would make him older or younger.
I did not expect to see you again so soon, though I'm not displaced. What can I do for you?
Well, we've spoken with the successors.
Oh, have you?
The
You got
dragon.
the measure of them, have you?
The dragon might have borne mention.
Ah, the beast.
Yeah.
They mentioned that today. Well, we're having a bit of trouble with that, as you may have already understand.
We were requested by them to see if there's anything that can be done on our part as simply outside actors.
Have they? Well, I must say that's very welcome. Let me bring you up to speed then. And he sort of like shuffles aside some papers across his desk. There's been 2 attempts so far to cool the beast. I was actually about to go and talk to the leaders of such attempts. Would you like to accompany me?
This would be
sure.
wise.
Yeah.
Well, let us not dally then.
Let's do it.
Gladly.
The first step, we need to go to the infirmary. Please do follow me. And it's just a short jaunt, sort of still just a ways outside the ducal palace to what seems to be sort of like a sort of a field tent apparatus set up, where many members of the Alliance Guard stand at posted. And it's yes.
What does their armor look like?
So it's like sort of like very finely wrought plate with that insignia of the lioness holding a sword across it.
What color?
Yeah, are we enameled?
Color's important.
Ah, great, good color. Crimson with gold embossment.
Naturally.
Heraldry.
So you may have heard recently I was just made captain. Actually, I got word while we were en route back to the capital.
I suppose congratulations
And
are in order?
condolences?
A bit of both, actually. That's very prudent. You see, I have just been made captain because the previous one was, well...
Understood.
Please do come with me. And you sort of make your way into this sort of like field tent area. Inside, multiple soldiers are sort of laid up in cots, wrapped, most of them limbs missing, heavily bandaged and bleeding. You hear the sort of moans and cries of dying and wounded men inside the field tent. There's roughly, say, 5 of them still here in this medical tent. This was the troop that was sent out to deal with the thing.
When was this?
Just a couple of days ago. Right before we got back.
Understood. Well, who's loose enough to speak to then?
Well, it's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yes.
And he sort of waves over like a healer moving between the cots. Captain St. Mark, are any of these men fit to speak? We need information on the beast. The healer sort of waves you forward to one of the cots. And as you move over and crowd around, Hector gets a concerted look on his face and seems to recognize the one in the bed. Andrew, oh God, what happened to you? And it's just sort of like he can't be more than 17, lying in this bed, missing one of his legs. And he sort of like, with effort, opens one of his eyes. Hector, made you captain, did they? Poor sot, good luck with it. Andrew, these are, well, they're friends. They're here to help. Please, we need some information on what happened to you if we're to stop whatever it is. And he sort of looks around at all of you. Those heroes out of the old valley we've all been told about.
How many soldiers are there?
5.
How badly wounded are they?
They're in various states. Andrew probably looks like the best shape.
Yike.
And he's like missing both of his legs.
I was saying that's all I needed.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay.
Well, partly yes.
Right.
Well, we were the second group to go after it. First was a band of hunters. I had to take down the beast when they heard it was rampaging through the keeplands. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Gargantuan it was. Like the dragons they tell in fairy tales about. It would disappear below the ground and we'd have no mention of where it would come. It seemed to know where we were. And when it came out, God, it gobbled up a dozen men every time it burst its awful head out of the ground.
I'm sorry, but did you get ever much a look at it to an idea of what its shape might be?
As good a look as you can get through the blood and the screams and the howls and the flying dirt and muck. Horrible it was. Long, serpentine, like a great dragon of old.
Understood.
Was anyone able to injure it at all?
Oh, God, no. It burst itself out of the ground, ate half our regiment before we had our heads straight. The rest of us tried, but we couldn't even get a hold of it.
How many of you were in the party when you left?
A company, 24.
And at what time was this that it came upon you?
Well, we tracked it to where it had last been seen in the keeplands. Didn't find hide nor hair of it there, so we just marched about. it seemed to be able to know where we were just by us moving along the ground.
Mm-hmm.
There are creatures which can do such things.
Kashek, you may be earning your keep very soon.
I would be most happy to oblige.
It's like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was a nightmare.
Excuse me for a moment.
Kashek's just gonna stand in the middle of the room and start shaking his staff.
Okay.
And start chanting very thrummingly in his throat in a language that nobody understands, I promise. And he is going to, well, I guess I'll explain. You see sand start to billow out from both the skull and, like, his robes.
Yeah.
And, like, you get, like, the warm, like, breeze over the dune feeling.
Yeah.
And it just swirls around the room gently, like, slightly coarse to the skin, but it doesn't hurt, and he's going to cast Mass Cure Wounds.
Excellent. Yeah. Great. Yeah, roll for it.
So that is 3d8 plus my whiz?
Yes.
I do not believe that replaces body parts, though.
No, it doesn't. Damn.
But they might not die.
27 points of healing to every damaged
Amazing.
creature.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
hell.
yeah, dude. Well, no way. Yeah. So this sort of
5th level slot, but...
wave of energy passes out from Kashek, washing over each of the soldiers in their cots. And it can't regrow limbs,
Yeah.
but some of the ones that were writhing in pain ease a little.
He's not triaging here. He's
Right,
just, yeah.
The ones that were writhing in pain ease a little, and the ones that were, I mean, there were two that were like blackout cold. You see a steady thrum return to their chests as they breathe a little easier and a little more steady. And Andrew, in front of you, as you are all gathered around his bed, you see just a wave of relief wash across his face.
Oh, Luminary, bless you, friend. Already living up to your reputations, I see. Thank you.
That was well done.
It was nothing special. That was one of my gentler spells.
Andrew, if you wouldn't mind answering a few more questions for us.
Please, if anything helps to bring that monstrosity down.
You said it was following you as you moved around, but at what time did it finally burst forth?
We got to where it had last been seen and sort of broke out into units to fan out from where it had last been found, and it just picked us off, group by group.
Was it evening, daytime, middle of the night?
Sauerkraut, getting close to evening.
And about how far away was this?
Well, it's about a mile south of Onagard. Old Motte Bailey, one of the most famous historical sites out there.
And how long would it take us to travel there?
Hour or two by horse.
Anything else you would deem pertinent for us to know if we were foolish enough to go wrangle it by ourselves?
And he sort of looks around at you. But the four of you? We went out with a company of 24 men and we were devoured.
It might not be as hungry for 4 as opposed to 24.
He sort of chuckles unwillingly, looking down at his legs.
You may just be right. What's your question?
Anything,
else?
any pertinent information?
Oh. I don't know. It's almost like it could sense where we were. You just gotta be careful. It has the upper hand on you.
Right. You should get some rest now.
Luminary, bless you all. It's a kindness to see you here.
You have done very well for your people.
Well, it's our duty and honour to die for Arcadia.
Well, it is our goal now to make it so that's not in vain.
That is a pleasant thought.
Get some rest, my friend.
Yeah, and he sort of lays his head back and drifts off. The relief of pain maybe now allowing him to sleep finally.
Now it's stand and turn to Hector. Is there anything more you think we need?
What about this lot? We could talk to the hunters that we sent in before these poor chaps.
Did any of them survive?
Well, the hunters. Well, they survived. Turned tail and fled, and that's why we had to send these poor lads in.
Well, for our purposes, that might. Let's just go talk to them.
Well, I don't know what we're going to get from them that we didn't get from these ones. They saw more,
Yeah, they
I would
do
say,
with
than the
fighters.
others.
Fair enough.
Do you mean to ride out and tackle this thing?
Not only does it seem a decent and good thing to do if we can, but it is a personal request of each of the successors so to do.
Oh, let the little one have a run around earlier. I find myself in need of one now.
Heroes indeed. Very well.
And he sort of stands up to his full height.
I shall accompany you. It's the least I can do as captain of this capital.
Then I believe, should we try to make our way today, or is it better prudent to wait till the morrow?
It's of my own opinion. The better this thing is seen off, the sooner this thing is seen off, the better. But I shall leave that to you. You are the heroic types.
I'm of a mind to go this afternoon.
Fly.
Will you excuse me all for one moment?
Since you entered the mortal plane again, it's sort of late summer now. And so the sun doesn't set until about 8 o'clock in the evening.
I'm perfectly fine to go whenever we decide to. Today works as well for me.
Will you all excuse me for a moment?
Yes.
By all means.
We're like kind of outside the keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go back inside and then go back up to this 3rd floor. Is that where the kiddos are?
The successors, yeah.
I'm gonna find Alasia's room.
Okay. You do so. Please, you enter.
My lady, I confess it was not my intent to trouble you for a favour so quickly into meeting. But
of course, it is my distinguished honour to provide you with whatever you may need.
we have a mind to go take care of the monstrous problem, and I would appreciate it if the little one wasn't in harm's way.
But of course, I believe there are a few creatures about that could keep him good company until you return.
Ooh. Sure, buddy. I put him down and then I face him to me. Behave yourself.
Just has his little hands towards your face.
Yes, thank you. Oh, no, don't do that. You listen to her the way you listen to me while I'm gone.
He
Yes.
sort of swivels his head around to look at her, and then swivels his head back to look at you.
Yes. She's in charge. She tells you to stop doing something, you stop.
Come now, little one. We shall have a grand time.
Oh no, this poor little guy.
And he whips his head around and kind of bumbles his way over to her.
His feet are too
His
big.
feet is like, because the problem is his front legs are so much longer than his back legs right now.
Yeah.
So he just sort of awkwardly ambles, and she picks him up, and he seems to relax naturally in her arms. Worry you not. I shall take care of the little one until you return.
Thank you.
But of course.
Go find these
Right.
3, 4.
In the meantime, Hector, well, shall we visit the stables then? We can set you up with a couple of horses. Make the journey.
Alright. Let's do.
Seems prudent.
I can fix you up with just a couple of the stable fare for now. Oh, and just did mention that should any of you be interested in purchasing a royal horse from here on out, that is perfectly within your means. But for now,
Alright.
perhaps. So yeah, so you move to the stables. There are a couple of sort of like all-purpose horses meant for riding there, which you have your pick of. Like, if you're determined to do this now, we shall set out, I suppose.
And there's, I assume, ferries or barges that can take us across the channel?
But of course, a garment's barge is large enough to hold horses. It'd hold the carriage on our way in.
Oh, that's right. It was this morning, so long ago.
I know. What a day we've had.
Very good. Horse time, it sounds like.
Shall we then?
Alright.
Let's do it.
What is it?
Sorry, chaps, which one of these is mine?
Whichever one you'd like.
Whichever you so choose.
We haven't selected.
If you have a particular idea of a horse you would like, I'm more than happy to just let you fill in the blanks there. You see, amongst the stables, there's several, horses with just basic saddles ready for go, and then as you move through, several notable thoroughbreds, fine stock, with extravagant saddles that perhaps will remain available to purchase towards you as you move through the adventure. But for now, some basic mounts.
Does that DM screen have horses movement in it?
I believe it's 60 feet? Yeah, 60 feet.
Okay, so I will just keep using my action to dash then and scout ahead.
You wild shape into horse?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm going
Oh,
to
you just fly. Yes. Great. So the rest of you mount up and set out, catching the ferry back to the mainland.
I'm picking the weirdest horse they got.
The weirdest horse.
Like any horse that looks weird.
One with that is white with sort of mottled gray, brown, and puce spots all over it. There's a little strange about the eye.
Perfect. Do you have both of them?
He sure does.
Not the
You
weirdest
can
horse
fix
I've ever
that.
seen, so that's perfectly fine.
Fantastic.
I know a horse with one eye. He still jousts.
Pick a standard-looking horse.
Yeah.
It's just like a maybe a brown and a
Yeah, I want a brown one.
yeah, it's just sort of brownish.
A brown bay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. I
Some
don't know
lovely
what flavor
standard
sources
bays.
come in.
Yeah.
Chestnut.
So you take the ferry across to the mainland and set out on horseback, and as you travel, Hector turns to you all and he says, "We know some about this creature. It seems to have a leg up on us. I'm wondering if you have a strategy or a plan, or if you mean to just charge headlong into its jaws and hope to come out by brute force."
What do you know of the creature, other than what you've told us?
Just what the man said. It's curious what they described, it seeming to react to their movements.
What colour
Perhaps
is it?
that could be used for our advantage.
Well, if it can sense where people are and it lives beneath the ground, I think that gives us a decent idea of perhaps how to deal with it.
Mm.
If it is as massive as they say, well, goal to get it above ground if we can, and keep it there if possible.
I've got a trick or two up my sleeve that can keep things in one place, and I believe Kishak is going to be valuable in that he doesn't need to touch the ground.
Indeed.
Perhaps.
Tricks are about all I do, so I think
It was,
Neither would the dragon. If it is truly a dragon.
well,
Which I doubt.
they encountered the beast near Honorguard. It's an old mutton bailey. Perhaps that is the ideal place then. The terrain would at least, if it moves through the ground, perhaps slow it at least, the construction of it.
unfortunate to have to sacrifice a historical relic like that, but
The building does not bleed.
no, I was about to say it does not match the amount of life.
Alright then,
Right.
our plan is clear. Follow me. Ha! And he sort of like kicks the reins and you tear off.
Oh, we crossed over.
He fell right off.
So you ride for perhaps a little over an hour and a half through the keeplands. It's a mixture of sort of like more modern architecture mansions and what is clearly old castles, keeps, fortifications. A mixture of the old and new, as it were, all along the stretch, tracing the outline of the Ilvis River. Until finally you come to Honorguard, which is a classic old motte bailey, a fabricated hill with a keep on top of it, leading down to sort of a ringed settlement, which at the moment seems largely abandoned. And as you make your way up to the keep, you see a figure making his way out through the doors at your approach. Oh, what's all this then? I am very busy. What can I do for you?
Have we arrived?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just gonna.
Oh, good gracious! Luminary's breath. Do give a chap a bit of warning before you descend from the sky, I do ask.
Apologies.
I don't know you. What is your business on my land?
Well, my friends, we've come to deal with your monster.
Oh, have you then? Well, it's about bloody time, isn't it? A bit too late, unfortunately, for my purposes. I can't be bothered with it anymore. I'm selling the place.
Very sorry to hear that.
I've heard tell of it nearby, and I don't mean to be around when it finally bursts its way and devours my old keep. I can't be bothered with Arcadia anymore. Too much funny business as of late. I'm sailing to Orlais.
Seems very wise of you.
What's this guy look like?
Was it like a big burrowed mustache?
Okay.
Fine clothes, not quite as fine as you saw in the capital, but definitely of moneyful descent.
Well, probably a good idea, considering we were expecting it to probably show up near here, so...
What?
Not on purpose, but it may show up near here.
I'd be careful on the ride back.
What do you say? You mean the beast is here now? What?
Could be.
Oh, good God, forget it. The bailey's been cleared. You're not in the market for a motte bailey, are you?
How much is a Martin Bailey?
Well, considering the rampant monster infestation, I'd sell it to you on the cheap. 25,000.
Why don't you find an inn and we'll negotiate in the morning?
It very well is me. I'm very keen to be gone. Meet me at the Seven Cats and perhaps we can arrange it.
Perfect.
All right.
Is it a cat cafe?
I don't know, you haven't been in yet.
No.
Didn't check, did we?
No.
Full of cat boys.
No. No.
Goodness gracious, this place has gone to the birds.
monsters, crises of state. I've had enough.
He is a bit.
He is a bit.
All right. Well, great. We'll do that.
Yeah, so he cantankerously makes his way off, and Honor Guard's gates lie open to you. It's sort of like a round fortification before the hill. There are several, like, what used to be maybe houses or storefronts, now all abandoned because of the monster sightings, inside, and then a ramp kind of leads up the man-made hill to the keep on top. You know, your classic Mont Bailey.
Hector, do we think this thing is actually going to make an appearance if none of us are actually at that running around?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose if it reacts to movement, we'll just need a bunch of it if we want to draw it out, as you so said.
I have an idea that's really terrible, and I wouldn't like to enact upon it, so...
What is it?
How attached are we to these horses?
We're gonna have to get back.
Oh, right. And also the horses would be eaten, Surrie.
And this is my weird horse.
That's a weird horse.
What did you name the weird horse?
Does he have a name?
It's up to you, I suppose, as far as I'm concerned.
To be fair, this is not that long of a walk. Like, we walked way farther in Barovia daily.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
At a hard ride, yeah, it took you an hour and a half to walk back.
Yeah.
Probably 4 hours.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm not eager to get a horse eaten on my behalf, I'm
And they're
just
also,
saying.
yeah, they're not our horses.
And indeed, it might not require a great deal of movement. It just might like anything at all.
I've got a way that I can, you know, get out of a place real fast.
As do I, as does Kashek, and as do you, I believe, especially with the sun going down.
Oh yeah, what's the environment around here like?
So it's wide open grasslands. The keeplands are all like, if there was once a forest that long ago was cleared to make way for mansions and castles and keeps, etc., etc. So you actually can't see any other major structures close to this. It's sort of like, you know, private property is big out here. So the Mott and Bailey is the most defining feature around. Otherwise, it's just, you know, the road leading through the river in the distance.
Have we seen any evidence of its rampage?
No, not yet.
Maybe we should find wherever
Yeah.
it has surfaced.
Sure.
Where the attack on our boys went.
That might be best.
I think I know the place. Shall we?
Let's go.
So you ride maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes from Honor Guard, and emerge upon the chaos. The ground completely torn asunder. Enormous holes pockmark the landscape here. Maybe by 25, 30 feet in diameter. And it's just, it looks like a god descended from the sky with an enormous like pitchfork and stabbed the ground in multiple places here.
Is there anything like left behind in the holes, like scales, slime, feathers?
Give me a investigation or survival.
19.
19, huh?
Mhm.
Yes. You search through the torn apart ground, and at some point you find an enormous, whether it's a tooth or a spike, you can't quite tell. But it is enormous, an enormous yellowed something or other the size of your arm.
Oh, I don't like that. Like the whole arm, the forearm.
Arm? The size of your arm.
Oh man, that's a lot. Okay. Ladies and Kashek
Yes, and heck.
And Hector.
and Hector. So how do I feel about this? And I just like heft up the giant's pig.
Oh, what?
Considering the size of those gaping holes, it seems about right.
Well, I
Good. Luminary. I've never seen anything like that.
Bernard said he wanted a tooth or something, but I don't think he could string this on a necklace.
Oh, but he could make use of that, I'm sure. Man of his eccentricities.
We'll say, friends, looking at that, I don't favour our chances.
Well, you're welcome to go back to the Martin Bailey if you'd like.
Well, no, of course not. I gave you my word as a knight of the Republic.
And it's very good of you. So as long as we avoid whatever end of it those things come from.
Sorry, do you still have that bag?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hold this in it?
Okay. I guess
It's
it
very
fits.
heavy
Yeah.
as you take it.
I
Yeah.
can't.
I think the bag of holding will fit around it, yeah, so you're good to go.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Movement. That might be someone else's purview because the only movement I can create is my own.
Well, last we know, the movement of
24 men in plate armor, druid. So unless any of you know how to shake the ground, I don't know exactly how we're going to draw it out.
I mean, I can do that a little tiny bit. I can cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute.
It doesn't cause harm.
I'll try it.
I'm going to sit upon the ground somewhere and take out my trad drum that I have and place it on the ground itself and begin just whapping a tattoo upon it consistently, repeatedly, just into the ground and carrying on like that for a little while.
So are you guys staying here where the last attack happened, or?
I thought it was heading towards the place. Do we want to try to like go halfway?
I can certainly track.
Perhaps, sure, we move between where we were and where we are now.
We'll try to draw it out, yes?
Sure.
You're trying to find a spot roughly equidistant between Honor Guard and where the last attack happened. And you sit down and rap upon your drum.
Do you know how to make horses just walk in a circle?
Well, they are expertly trained. I suppose we could.
Just encourage them to do that a bit,
I
perhaps.
thought we were not going to make the horses get eaten.
Do you want sound?
I suppose. Alright.
We can also not have that. We can put them far away and then watch as it comes out of the ground and eats them and not
Right,
us.
alright, fair enough.
So you're sort of just setting the horses to canter in a circle.
God,
That is simply my idea. We do not have to go through that.
Alright, let's try with the horses, I suppose.
I don't know if
Sorry,
it's. I don't
do
even
you-
know
They're
if it's.
not
a
our
good idea.
horses! I just don't think we should be making the decision for them to possibly get eaten.
I don't even know if it's a good idea. I just said it.
Well, I'll say it. These aren't exactly war horses. The first sign of trouble, I imagine they'll scamper off.
So you don't care if they get eaten, is what you're saying to us.
No, they'll run away. Is what he's saying.
But on the off chance they do get eaten.
Then it's not a
Hector.
problem.
I mean, they are of palace stock. It would be a loss, but better than any other citizenry, I suppose.
Or the heroes of Barovia. And their...
Two friends.
And friends.
And also... It's Al.
Stepsister and Owl.
So, playing the drum, setting the horses to sort of canter about.
I'll try thaumaturgy.
Okay. Yeah, just sort of making tremors in the ground. Anything else?
I watch.
I will patiently wait.
I guess I'll run back and forth.
I will sit crossed-legged.
We look so stupid.
You do.
So yes, so you sit about for your various musings. 15 minutes, half an hour, 45, an hour.
I don't think this is working.
I'm tired.
And just as Seren finishes her
Can't we
sentence,
just be Death Eaters?
Remember, it came out at evening.
Oh, right.
and the sun begins to hang low in the sky. There's no mountains like there are in Barovia. It's pretty open grassland, but the sky still takes on a pinkish hue. You hear something. Rumbling
Up,
from deep below the ground.
Oh, shit.
up, get ready to move. Horses. Give them a slap. I don't know. Send them where they go.
I'm in the air.
I slap the horses on the ass as they go in the
The
in
horses
a circle.
also immediately begin to sense a little danger and begin to sort of like...
I kind of slap them in like the vague direction.
You can just give them a slap on the ass. They don't need much more permission.
Yeah.
Sensing danger, they immediately begin to scatter in all directions. As they take off in various different directions,
It's gonna eat the horses.
It's gonna be the horses.
the whole ground begins to tremor
May I
and shake.
patiently defense if we're not in combat?
Oh, that's only good for a round, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well take the dodge action.
Yeah, you're right. We'll just do that.
True.
Take the dodge
Continually. Dodge action.
action. Take the dodge action.
The earth begins to tremor, and from off in the distance, you see the ground begin to splinter and crack, moving towards you, something moving under the surface of the plains, slithering its way towards you. And the massive upheaval of earth draws closer and closer towards where you're standing. Hector brings out his sword and shield and says, "All right then, on your guard, friends."
It's about to get very strange very
To
quickly.
check if you're about to be airborne, I'd like to come with you if that's
I'm
possible.
already airborne.
Shit!
I actually said I was in the air. You could actually put
What
it back.
did you say?
Sorry.
And as it draws closer and closer, the shaking and sound growing louder and louder, all of a sudden, it tapers off. And the movement of the earth begins to stop.
Scatter.
Shatter.
No, scatter. How dark is it?
It's like twilight.
Dim light?
Yeah, we'll say.
I I turn to Alcyone. I take a step into your shadow, and then I disappear.
Hey, that's my shadow.
And then
Don't use that.
I saw it. Yeah.
60 feet away, I emerge in the dim light.
And as you move and scatter about, whipping your heads from side to side, trying to keep track of wherever, whatever it is went, you look to where one of the horses scampered off. And
It's not weirdy,
suddenly,
right?
from below the ground, like the Jaws poster, a massive purple worm erupts from the ground, encompassing easily the whole horse in its gaping maw. It shoots 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 feet into the air, not even seeing the base of it as it swallows, looking down at all of you. Let me see if I can get a...
No.
Never?
No, you're not.
No, we
Do you know what
haven't.
the CR on these things is?
Gargantuate
Gargantuan.
worm, turning its head, opening its maw, and roaring as it again turns its head skyward and begins to slurp down back into the hole it created, disappearing again from view.
Shit, fuck, shit.
It's time for initiative.
Do it.
Do we want to fight?
Yes.
It's 10:30.
I am a 6th level cleric, or 11th level druid, goddammit. I wasn't even close.
Let's at least get into it.
All right,
I've
we're
got
into
nothing
it.
to do. It's up to anybody who's got work
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I don't have to
I
work
don't
again
have
until
a
Monday.
meeting until 12.
All right,
All right, man.
All right, here we go. Let's fight. Okay, so we are in an open field. Please place yourself wherever you wish. This giant hole is where it just came out.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So please just place yourselves around.
Yeah,
I'm like 100 feet in the air. I don't know how to.
Oh, I think I would have been closer to.
Here, how about this?
I'll go here.
As long as I have one dice under me, I'm in the air somewhere.
Got you.
So it bursts from below the ground, devouring the horse that was trying to scamper away, and then immediately disappears back below the earth, out of sight of all of you.
Whose horse was it?
Not the weird one.
Okay.
We'll say one of your two.
Okay.
Well, it would have to be because I didn't have one.
The weird one's gonna survive all
Good.
of us.
Of course it is.
It'll outlive all.
Yeah.
It's a weird horse. Horses live a
Okay.
while.
Initiatives, please, Alcyone.
Right.
Get right to that. 12.
Hector gets a.
It's not
Oh,
great.
where is he?
Oh, great. Yes, correct. Hector will be right here. Kashek, please.
10.
Seren.
13.
Surrie.
16.
Okay, and the worm get
Laid.
Lane!
Surrie, Seren, and who is this? Is Kashek, I assume.
Yes.
He's flying 100 feet in the air.
You are in the air. Fantastic. Okay.
Do you want to know something terrible? The worm's probably taller than that.
First combat in a new campaign. And go. First up,
Down a little bit.
Hector moves immediately to your side.
Just
Alcyone
something to
and
keep in
readies
mind.
himself.
Cool.
That brings us to Surrie.
Oh, I can. Is it back underground or can I see the
It's underground.
motherfucker?
Yeah.
It's just us.
Fuck!
And below the ground is Motherfucker Unlimited.
I'm gonna just like softly as I can, just like use all my movement and scoot back very quietly and sneakily. Thanks. And then I'm gonna ready an attack with my bow.
Okay. Put the bet. Anything else, my friend?
That's it.
Seren.
I'm gonna ready I have the dodge action, I guess. I'm just gonna do that.
Okay, great. Alcyone.
All right. No, we can't see anything right now. So I'm going to flex the hand with my tattoo on it, and the inky tendrils are going to spiral and expand into a very large spectral hand of darkness.
Ooh.
A large hand, you might say,
Oh.
Bitch.
that rises above me, waiting to do some shit. Instead of a hand, it looks more like an enormous claw that sort of moves and shifts with particles.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anything else, my friend?
That's me.
Okay, here we go.
Alright.
So, you didn't move.
No.
Great. Then my friend Surrie.
Ooh.
Um,
Nice.
You feel a rumbling
Fuck
below
me.
your feet, Yana. Could we perhaps move your books there? The ground, the ground shakes and moves beneath your feet. Bursting up from below the ground, the worm emerges.
Yeah, as soon as I see it, my arrow is loosed.
Yes, because you ready your action. Please
did.
roll to hit.
Bless you, natural 20.
Yeah!
I don't get sneak attacks, so don't get
No,
too excited.
no. I'm just saying that
Still
first
feels
attack
good.
of the first campaign.
Oh,
and
nice.
you
That's
crit.
true.
fun.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I did use my dope. My snitch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that was a nat 20?
counting that 20, it's 29.
Sure.
Um,
That'll hit. Funny enough.
Oh.
well,
Yeah.
It's the
oh
crit
yeah,
that
duality
matters.
of man. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Duality of woman.
You're right. 12 points of damage.
Fantastic. Excellent. And did anybody else have anything readied as it emerges?
I was just ready to dodge it.
Great. Okay, the worm turns its massive maw towards you,
Yeah,
Surrie, and
that's fair.
lurches
That's
forward
fair.
through the air, its mouth opening in sort of like a flower petal sort of arrangement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flaps of skin and teeth shoot their way through the air towards you. And it is going to get a non-natural 20 to hit.
Can you do?
Can I shield? Will that work?
So holding your
Oh,
action
you're right. That was.
uses your reaction
Yeah,
to
yeah.
activate
Okay.
it.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
Okay,
Afraid
that's fine.
not.
That's alright.
Sorry, friend.
That's okay.
In that case,
you got a crit.
That's my choice.
That feels good.
its massive
Big ol'
maw
12.
shoots towards you, and it's like rows and rows of serrated teeth scrape around
Ouch.
you. Let's open. We gotta open more bags of dice here.
Oh my god,
Christ.
Trevor.
Well, I wanted to start things off with a bang.
Level 11,
I have to
baby.
give him this present before he leaves.
Okay.
What?
You could tell him that.
It attacks you. Okay, yowzers.
I don't like when you
19
say that.
piercing damage. And I need you to give me a
And-
dexterity saving throw, please.
I sure can. Love those. 18.
As its jaws close around you, it lifts
baby.
back up into the air, and you are swallowed by the creature, surrounded and consumed by darkness and the foul stench of the worm's innards as you slide down its throat, covered in mucus and stench. You are restrained and blinded.
We are 4 level 11s. This is the shit we're dealing with now.
So that save is at least 19.
Here we go. We're in it now, my
Sorry,
level
is he
11
still-
lovely.
he's still above
having
ground?
Yes.
fun.
Yes, right. Yes,
I
yes.
use my free action to scream.
Nice thing is though is that you are
Sorry!
literally everything. Like his skin, like you can't be hit. Basically.
Except for the stuff that is
Except
acid.
the acid
Yes, you
damage
gonna like
you're gonna take.
digest me?
But if something were to
He's
explode,
gonna
you'll be
try.
fine.
That brings us to
Are you
Kashek.
planning on exploding?
Surrie is
Yeah.
now, your new friend Surrie is now inside. Wait, oh my god, nope, we're not done yet. I'm so sorry.
Trevor.
From out of the hole, another end of it emerges. An
right.
enormous, like a 7-foot long dagger-like stinger lances out of the hole towards you, Alcyone.
Okay, I have half cover due to interposing hand, just because he's currently blocking for me.
So that gives you plus.
+2.
Okay.
It's not gonna be much.
+2. Here comes the dagger. But as the dagger shoots towards you, Hector, who is right beside you, throws his shield arm out in front of
Yeah,
you, imposing
baby.
disadvantage against the creature.
Hector took a feat at level 4.
Shield master boy.
Hell yeah.
Or he has protection. Fight.
So that is going to be a 16.
With half cover, that misses.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's
it shoots through the air, and you hear a heavy whoop as the stinger lances into the ground directly next to you, but you manage to dance out of the way of its sting.
How
That brings us to Kashek.
tall is this thing?
It's enormous. I mean, it's 30, 40, 50 feet in the air.
And its tail is also here.
Yeah, It's gargantuan.
Okay.
Is it reared up?
Oh,
Yeah, it
fuck
did. So
me.
it's sort of like
And
reared up like a coiling cobra, and then shot forward, and then like
Came
came back up to swallow you.
The like flat. I have to assume that there's like a flat part on the ground that's like.
So
It's
you
on
see
the ground.
both halves of his body then disappear into the hole
Oh,
that's coming out.
Shit.
But you can still hit these parts.
Yes, correct. Yeah, either part is yes.
Okay.
For flavor, when it missed, the hand just sort of gave a diverting darkness to it, just sort of like shoved it with the particles over there.
Like matrixed it to the side.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Fantastic.
1 second.
That brings us to Kashek.
I got a lot of new spells.
Yep.
Kashek is going to whip his staff around, and some sand flies out of it and falls to the ground. And where it touches the ground, another creature comes out of the earth. And I'm going to conjure minor elementals, but in this case, I'm going to summon a level 2 earth elemental. However, the form it would take.
Kind of just up to you.
Like what stat block it would use.
You have to choose.
They give if you're conjuring an elemental, they give you the stat blocks to use.
No, if this is the one from Tasha's, they give you the stat block, but if it's not, those are certain creatures you can use that are of the elemental creature type.
Would they be in the monster manual?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to decide that.
Yeah.
Or the DM does.
Yeah.
Because an actual Earth Elemental is a challenge rating 5, which I don't think is
it's
accounted
not
for.
possible, so... Yeah, an Earth Elemental is level 5, so like...
Things that are of the elemental creature type. For example, Dust Methods are challenge rating 1/2.
That's what I meant.
So you get 4 of those.
I could get more of them, yeah.
Yeah, a Gargoyle is challenge rating 2.
Yes!
So that would just be 1.
One of those.
You can use... It is a gargoyle stat block, but it is not a traditional gargoyle.
Yeah. It is not chaotic evil, it is... obeys him.
It is true neutral, but it obeys me. Yes, so I will summon a gargoyle, represented here by this man.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
There
Which
it is.
would count towards your sneak attack as well, because it's a friendly creature, I assume.
Yep. If it's an ally.
Yep, he's going to attack the men, which it doesn't say I can't do on the same... Oh, I have to roll initiative for it, that's right.
We'll just say it'll move right after you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
easier.
That's
easier.
easier. Great, and then with the rest of my turn, I'm going to cast Shillelagh, which is apparently a bonus action, which is very
It is.
sexy.
Shalalay-lalay-lalay.
Yes. So yes, the sand sprinkled onto the ground did that, and then he casts Shillelagh on his staff, and nobody's around to see it.
Sorry, buddy.
Looks great up there.
But the far end of it, we'll say, for flavor's sake, transmutes into sandstone.
Awesome.
Dope.
Great.
And that is my turn.
Great. That brings
Would
us...
not the Gargoyle now attack?
Yes. Good
Yes,
point.
that brings us to the Gurgoyle.
The Gargoyle.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, so he does have a multi-attack.
He does.
So he is going to try and bite and claw the worm. So first he will bite.
Go Gargoyle.
Make it for me up.
14.
No.
Yeah. And then claw.
7! No. Yeah. Your gargoyle tries his darndest, but he just cannot find purchase on the rocky exterior of the purple worm.
Yeah, that's valid.
Anything else, my friend?
No, that's all he can do.
Okay, then that brings us back to Hector, whose stat block I made earlier for just such an occasion. Fantastic. He's going to move forward to the base of the creature and attempt to hack at it with his long sword.
Oh, be careful there.
We'll connect.
Be careful there.
He sort of like, after having helped defend you with his shield from the stinger of the creature, he sort of couches himself and lurches forward, leaping into the air like ice pick style, driving his sword into the creature's side. And he will do...
Yeah, we're busting out all the fucking stops.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down style.
and miss. Okay, great.
No!
Second attack miss. But some damage done to the creature nonetheless.
Hey man, he's doing it.
All of it matters. Oh boy. Alright, what have I done? Okay, moving on. Surrie, inside the worm!
Okay, it's my turn.
Yes, you are restrained and blinded, but you can still attack.
Disadvantage on attacks.
But advantage because
I'm inside of
gargoyle.
it.
Well, you have disadvantage because you're restrained, so you cannot get sneak attack no matter what.
But I'm
Oh, you're
inside of it.
So you're restrained.
But it's all around me. How can I miss?
It's not whether miss, like whether it does anything too. You're not just
Oh,
missing.
okay.
You're like
That's fair. Yeah.
that was an unsuccessful.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think
so I'll booming blade and try to stab.
Yeah,
him.
man. Go for it. Fuck him up.
Oh, well, that's not gonna happen. Nope. That would be 13.
No, I'm afraid not. You
Maybe his armor
try to
changed.
swing your arm around, but your blade gets caught in the thick mucus of the inside of the creature, and you slide a little bit farther down its throat. Oh, also, you need to take.
Maybe there's a fun saving throw you can make or
I'm
something.
gonna die.
Oh boy, I wish there was.
I'm gonna die tonight.
But you feel as you slide further and further down the creature's throat, you begin to feel digestive juices
Ow,
eat
no.
away
Ow,
at
that
you.
hurts.
You take. Thanks. 19 acid damage.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay.
Don't like that.
You know, we probably should have bought some health potions now that I'm thinking about it.
It's more like I have no combat spells prepared because I thought we were going to be in the city until the end of the night.
Here we are.
Yeah, okay.
Seren.
We'll be okay. It just looks really rough right now. Because it is.
Does favored foe, if I'm casting Hunter's Mark with that, is that counting as a spell slot, or is that like an ability functioning as a spell? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, because I think if you took a level in Ranger, it would have been the same level in Ranger that Dwarric was made of, so it would be the one where you can cast it, the like revised Ranger or whatever it was.
Or are we doing the one in
Cast it.
Tasha's or the one that came before that?
The one that came before that, because I don't want to.
So yeah, that's the
Retcon
one
stuff.
you can do it for amount of times equal to your wisdom mod for free.
For free. I'm not using a spell slot.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so as I'm running 50 feet up to this thing, it needs to make a dexterity save.
Okay, here it goes.
25, 30,
Dex
35, 40,
is not
45,
good. for the
50.
worm.
Could I hit it from here? It's
Yeah.
Come here.
No, I want to punch it in the face because it ain't my friend.
The face is up
Face
in
is
the air.
up in the air.
Oh, never mind.
You kind of got to attack, like,
Okay.
It does still count as
this
casting Hunter's Mark, however.
segment or this segment?
Just so you know.
So could I cast 2 spells right now or not?
No.
Damn.
You're not using an item to cast it. Unless you're using an item to cast the other thing.
No.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, it's still a spell,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Fuck me. Okay. Well, yeah, anyway, it still needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
5.
Yeah, everyone has advantage on it now. As
Fantastic.
the purple worm glows purple. 50, I guess I sidle up over here next to Hector. Can I hit it from there?
It's
yeah, it's huge.
gargantuan,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So that was my action, and then with my bonus action, I can't really do a whole lot.
You could have teleported over here. Or teleport somewhere else now that you're here.
How tall is it?
It's huge. I mean, with its head, its tail is currently sort of lying on the ground. Its head rises, I don't know, 40 feet in the air.
Can I teleport to just behind where its mouth might be? And just try to hang
Like
on?
to the top segment of it.
Yeah. And try to hang on?
That's a good question.
Yes, but you'll have to give me a acrobatics check.
Okay. Well, I was gonna shadow step, but I can also do that.
But like
That's
to hold
yes,
on.
but to
Oh,
hold
hold
on
on.
to it once
Yeah,
you
you're
get
right,
up
you're
there.
right. 26?
It is. It's gonna contest, but I don't think it's gonna be that. Yeah, you're good. You magically appear right behind its head, and it sort of begins to whip back and forth, irritated at this sudden presence close to its head.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
What?
It just makes... I have to change my plans. That's okay though.
Sorry.
That's right.
Plus 11?
I have the Stone of Good Luck, and I have a +9 to acrobatics.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else, me dear?
No, I can't really attack it this turn. So.
Alcyone.
Alright, okay. That's fine. We can do still other things.
Sorry!
That's okay. That's okay. Alright, so with my action, I'm going to take a moment and just speak a few words in a language that no one understands, I promise you. And 3 images of me appear and occupy the same space. I cast
Nice.
mirror image around myself.
Ooh.
So that is a level 2 spell slot. Get at me. And then my enormous, swarming, inky hand is going to clench into a fist and ram directly into the butthole of the worm here.
Nice.
So let me just get to that real quick. That is, I believe, a spell attack on my part.
When
Yep.
it takes damage, is there like a Surrie meter that it can like coffer back up or something?
There's a mechanic, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, usually it's like if you do enough damage in a turn, something that like this will be able to
Okay.
barf it back up, but not always. That's not great.
I
That
feel
is
bullshit, though.
only a 17 to hit. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
You-
It's
wait.
the dice you get all the time. What?
Did you have advantage on that?
Oh, I would, wouldn't I? Let's use the big boy this time.
Yeah.
Hacha! Worse!
Damn it, yeah.
It's always the dice you get for the fucking character
It is.
For me.
that end up shitting the whole bed.
My Alice dice suck.
Why advantage? Just
Because
for flanking?
it's fairy fire.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes. So that is my turn in total.
Okay. It is the worm's turn.
It's not going very well, boys.
So Surrie is inside of it. Seren is on its head. It's going to kind of. This is the gargoyle.
Yes.
It's going to try to eat the gargoyle.
Well,
Oh.
it's probably gonna work.
Yep, definitely. That is a 27.
I just need to look at the hit points to see if it's done in one hit, which it probably will be.
It's 52. It bites down on your sweet baby gargoyle for 14 points of damage.
Okay.
And your gargoyle needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
You about to get a bunch of rock thrown at you.
Mm-hmm.
6!
Nope. It is swallowed whole.
Hi.
As it gulps down.
Ow.
Yeah, you've got a friend.
What the
Gargoyle.
fuck was that?
Actually,
Feel
can I have
knock on your
a,
head,
can I have a
sorry.
marker? So I can keep track of the... Thank you. So you said 14?
Yes.
Cool.
And here comes the stinger at Hector.
Well, we were not ready for a purple worm.
Well,
That's alright, that's alright.
I'm learning.
I have a no.
We're also learning. Yeah, I have also some ideas. They're gonna have to take some stuff happening, but yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here comes the stinger at Hector.
Oh no, not the guy right next to me.
It strikes out with its stinger, but he manages to put his shield up just in time, and it ping clangs off of the metal.
He's gonna do all the work, is what's gonna end up
Yeah, good thing
happening.
we brought him.
Yeah.
Kashek, back to you.
I am going to cast Erupting Earth on Mr. Worm over here. So, once again, this time he just juts the staff out at the ground, and right where the worm is, like, balancing itself on the earth, it explodes with rocks flying everywhere. The worm needs to make a dex save.
Great. 14.
Fails.
Great.
Neat.
And it will take 3 D12.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows the last time I got to roll one of those?
Juicy.
Whoopsie. Oh, that's going to be 12 points of damage.
Okay.
It's the number of the night.
That's the stuff about D12, man.
The average is
3 to 36.
And then I'm 100 feet in the air. How many feet in the air is it?
Say like 40, 50.
Can I make it to it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll fly right the fuck over. Am I flanking with anything? I mean, it's got advantage anyway for fairy fire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
It's very fire.
And I will attack with my shillelagh
You need an action
quarterstaff.
to do that, my boy.
Yes, I do.
Unfortunate.
I will back the fuck up.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Gargoyle's turn.
Yeah, he can attack.
Go get him! With
Just disadvantageously.
Right.
Because he is restrained.
Okay.
Fairy fire, I don't think applies.
You have to be able to see
Blinded.
the creature.
Yeah, you're blind.
14. 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
shit!
We'll take a bite attack.
A blinded gargoyle inside the worm.
One bite attack. I don't know what the
That's
attack
okay.
bonus is. It's gonna be a D6.
Plus 3, I think. Plus 2.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For the bite, it's a 1d6 plus 2.
Woo! 7 points of biting damage.
Yeah!
Is that the most that anybody's done yet?
No.
No.
Okay.
Hector's done more.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else, my friend?
That's
Not
true,
for the
you've done
gargoyle.
way more.
No. Oh, that's right. That's right.
On
That's
the
right.
crit.
Okay, we are back to Hector, struggling against the base of the creature's tail. Hold tight, my friends. I know we can do it. And lashes out with
Love
his
this guy.
sword. That will.
Is he our new OCD Not Steal? Is he our new DMPC that we're going to take along with us? Who knows?
I wanted to give you guys some meat.
See if you
Yeah, we did pick a... I needed to play a caster
he's
after
doing
all
great.
that.
No,
so.
we're here. We're
Yeah.
loving. We're loving all of it.
We are.
Yes, that will
Just for
connect.
some people who can heal, which was our
We do have that.
mortal flaw last time.
We do have that. I can't reach you.
Oh, that's fine.
No, being swallowed is a weakness to anybody,
Yeah,
no matter what your
I
fucking
just
comp.
mean in general,
Yeah.
as we had one person and would a dwarf have 3rd level spells?
That will not.
Pyrus had, like, the defibrillator hands.
Surrie from inside the worm.
Oh, it's my
but
turn?
Is gonna take some acid damage.
Yeah, sure. I know.
Maybe she'll be fine, though.
I've got some hit points left. I'll be alright.
Rolling. Time 17 points of acid damage as it eats into your flesh. You slide further and further down the creature's throat.
We gotta get you out of there.
I have one remaining idea.
Okay, so once again, booming blade and try to fucking hit it from inside.
Yeesh.
Okay. 18.
Yes!
Yeah!
Nice.
What's that? D8. Yes.
You're level 11, so you add 2d8 for the booming blade. Cantrips increase in power.
Give Surrie more dice.
17.
Points of damage?
Yes.
Excellent.
Some of it is
Thunderous.
thunder.
Kaboom.
Thank you.
And if it moves, it takes more, right?
Yes.
Even though it's inside of it?
What it's worth,
Yeah.
the erupting earth is rough terrain for it.
Okay. I mean, it lives in the earth.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
he said okay.
That's why I didn't say
Oh, you know, we
anything
might
to begin with.
ignore that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Anything
That's nice,
else? Surrie.
No. Thanks for asking.
It's fine.
Okay, Seren. Here you are, perched atop the worm.
Mm-hmm.
I will say... Oh, well, you already have advantage anyway. Never mind.
I am going to do the thing I do best, which is punch the hell out of it.
Go two. Go
Yeah,
two.
baby.
Natural 20.
That's the job.
Woo!
That's the job.
So roll them twice.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. 12 on the first one, and it needs to make a con save.
Okay, 12 and con save. It makes it,
Yeah, okay.
unfortunately.
Second
23.
one. Yeah. Second one. That's a 25 to hit.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
got it, man. You got it.
Okay. That's 6 more points of damage.
Okay,
And I'm going to flurry of blows.
okay.
That's another natural 20.
Hey! Roll it twice.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
We're
Okay.
chipping away. We're chipping away at it.
Not great. A little better. 11 points on the crit.
Okay.
And then this is my last. That's a 24 to hit.
Monthly actions.
Monthly actions.
Yes, ma'am.
It takes 8 more points of damage, and it needs to make another con save.
It sure does.
Doing it. Spend them like you got them.
10.
Does not make it. It's stunned for a round.
Oh,
Wow.
shit! Not only that,
Yeah.
you hear a shuddering run through the segments of the worm, and from inside Surrie, you feel a sudden rush of air and liquid as you are covered in grimy mucus and forcibly ejected from its mouth. It vomits you back out of its mouth. You're going to take a little bit of fall damage.
And the
here.
gargoyle.
And the gargoyle. Also.
That's what that was? What the hell?
The fuck is that?
So you're going to
Are we
take...
fighting this too?
It vomits you from its face as you
Good
fall.
space.
Unfortunately, you're going to take 14 more fall damage.
Oh boy.
But it's not acid.
Did I see Surrie get thrown up?
Yeah, you would have.
You alright?
I guess.
Suddenly brought back to the world.
Okay.
At least I can see now.
Kashek, just because you haven't seen this before, actually throughout this whole fight, it's only been like, what, 3 rounds, 2 rounds?
Yeah.
So for the last 12 seconds,
This is 3.
as everyone else has tensed up and been ready for combat, I look more serene than you have ever seen me.
Upchucked you are, back amongst the outside world. And your gargoyle as well,
So
which
good.
also takes the 14 points of fall damage.
Oh, good.
As it
more
falls
health
from
than
the maw of
Yeah.
the creature.
14?
Yes. That brings us to anything else.
Oh, no, that's not
Alcyone.
Well, okay, that's good. That's good. So I suppose first things first. I just love casting spells, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, me too.
Great. Then yeah, I suppose the first thing that's gonna happen is the enormous fist of dark particulate is going to slam into this fucker once again
Okay.
with advantage.
Yeesh.
Please, let me look cool. I fucking hate you.
We're all working it out.
15.
Not quite.
I have not rolled
Sorry, buddy.
double digits.
It happens.
All right, and with my action, that's okay. It happens. It's all right. I'm not.
Let's all remember how Dwark rolled against Strahd.
It is a one thick worm.
It is. And with my action, I'm going to go ahead and frustratedly coalesce just an inexplicably blue ray of frost directly at this motherfucker.
Excellent.
Inexplicably blue.
I can't trust you, but I'm rolling with you anyway. Alright, that's better.
Yeah.
That is a 27.
Yes, that'll do.
With a healthy little 3d8. That's cocked. Oh. Let my honesty. Nope, didn't work. 9 points of cold damage.
Splashes across its purple
And its
carapace.
speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Great.
Oh, it's also stunned, so it can't do shit anyway.
It can't
so.
do shit. It is definitely stunned.
Yeah.
It is the purple worm's turn, but it is stunned.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Seren.
Mhm.
Kushek.
Mm-hmm.
Does stunned give it disadvantage on saving throws?
Certain things, like dex and strength, I think are bad for it, but I don't know for certain.
Automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attacks or rolls against the creature have advantage.
That's pretty meta. I don't know if that matters to you.
I don't care.
Okay.
You see it's stunned and
Yeah,
twitching.
you know
it's
it can't
stunned.
move.
Yeah.
You can reason that.
A wise guy.
He's a wise guy.
You wise guy.
Pretty fly for a wise guy.
Hey, he's also
Get
flying.
it? Because he's a bird.
Yeah.
Because he's a bird.
Oh, man.
And he's pretty.
We got a comedian.
Yeah, wise guy, huh?
Why are you oughta?
Shoot suddenly.
Who? That's the thing, we don't...
Nothing better to do. I
Hey,
mean,
man.
Go, buddy, go. You got it.
Do what you got.
Fuck him up.
Cast explode worm.
Yeah, cast
Oh,
explode worm.
this whole time
Damn it!
I could have cast
You
Explode
gotta,
Worm.
you gotta look at your spells beforehand.
I gotta.
Come on.
That's
Spellcasters.
me, Ian Agnew, who does not look at
Yeah.
spells. I just fly by the seat of my worm.
I would like to cast Explode Worm.
I'd like to find,
Ninth level.
find bucket.
Find bucket.
So
There it
we're
is.
creating our own spell book. It's got Find Bucket, Explode Worm.
Surrie's find bucket.
Yeah.
what languages does it speak?
It doesn't
Bruh.
speak any
Speak?
languages.
It's an
I wanted to
aminal.
make
It
sure.
has an intelligence of -5.
Yeah.
Does it?
Really? 0?
Well, 1 actually.
Okay.
So
Uh,
it modifiers -1.
Ooh. I don't know that, but that's good to know.
There you go.
well,
Oh
you,
my
Ian Agnew, would never
God.
do that.
I mean, it
about
looks
anything.
pretty stupid.
And I mean that in as unsarcastically as I
It's
can
just a
possibly make it.
Shillelagh allows me to use my spell attack bonus instead of strength,
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
but that's only to hit. It won't affect damage.
No damage as well.
Damage as well?
Yeah.
You still only get one attack.
Same
but
way.
yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like modifier and proficiency to hit, modifier to damage.
That's probably the best thing I can do right
You don't have like Thorn Whip or Primal Savagery or anything?
now. I have Thorn Whip.
It's gonna do more damage than a Shillelagh hit.
If it
Theoretically.
moves, then
Yeah.
oh,
Well, it has to move willingly.
damn. Okay.
Fuck me.
Is that
Um,
indefinite?
No.
Or
Till my next turn. But if I hit it again, it's obviously gonna be like,
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. When else am I gonna get a chance to use this today? I'm just gonna fucking Hail Mary it. Kshek is going to spin his staff around again, and the cavity inside of the skull is going to erupt in a burnish like copper light, and it's going to explode and blast a sunbeam at the fucking worm.
Oh.
Remember, you're concentrating on the gargoyle.
Yes. I mean, it's doing.
So he's going to vanish.
He's doing a d6.
Fair enough,
damage.
fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, the gargoyle crumbles into dust as I cast this.
did anybody else see this thing? What the fuck?
Con save.
And it will.
It still does half damage.
That's true.
Wow. 11.
Hey, it fails. All right, so that's 8d6.
Yep.
All right.
Ooh. All right, here we go. Now we're
A
bringing up big
wizard
stuff.
I am not, but I will fucking take it.
Sunbeam is one of the sexiest spells in the game.
And this stays up, right?
As long as you're concentrating, you can do this as an action on your turns.
Amazing. Now, does he make the save every time?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Automatic would be absurd.
Ooh.
That could have been better.
That's a lot of dice, though.
Yeah. And I don't add anything?
Nope.
29 points of fire damage?
Hey,
Oh, radiant damage.
Radiant damage.
Hey, oh!
Nice.
You all watch, some of you on the ground, Seren up on its head as this beam of light cuts through the air, slamming into the side of the creature, which tries to roar, but it is still... No, it's not stunned any
Until the
more.
end of her.
Until the end of it, it is still stunned, so it sort of just shudders into place.
It technically is a. You'd have to make it so it doesn't hit anybody else because it is a lie.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I'm not a
easily
fucking-
could. You
yeah.
easily could.
I'm
yeah.
a sniper right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
anything
sexy.
else? Kushek.
I don't think I have any like worthwhile bonus action spells. Not prepared anyway.
There'd be a cantrip now anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Nope, I'm good.
Hector. Yeah, Gargoyle is gone. Gone Goyle. Hector. Having just seen you, like, kamehameha through the air.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the stories do live up to something then.
And goes to attack the creature.
Kashak hasn't corrected anyone yet on the fact that nobody knows who the fuck he is, but he's kind of like,
By association.
eh.
Hector nat 20s. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
my boy.
I guess I don't need that.
And, but this is the second as it clangs off the armored surface of the worm. That brings us back to Surrie, now amongst the land of the living. Outside of the worm's stomach.
And they're not being digested.
Advantage. It's so beautiful.
I can't see through the gunk.
Ew. Would you forget the head slicing thing?
Was the
Can I
drink
follow
there?
on just back? A booming blade. You already know.
Yeah, man.
You have
No?
advantage.
Advantage.
Oh, I know.
She likes rum separately.
That'll be 29.
Hell
Yes.
yes.
Remember, it's 2 for the booming blade, 2d8 for the booming blade.
It's so many more than I originally thought. Holy shit.
So what? 6d6,
66,
1d4, and 2d8.
And you guys thought you weren't ready for the
This
purple
is
worm.
gonna take me 20 minutes to count though, so.
You thought you weren't ready for the purple worm.
Technically doable.
41.
Now, but
Fuck.
like,
Doable, but like
There
for
she is.
one
Yeah.
person, like at themselves.
There she is.
Oh, beautiful.
Surrie just got 41 damage while you guys were.
That's how
I was
Surrie do.
listening.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
That's what she's here for.
Your dagger
Look at me.
slams into its side, finding just the perfect niche between two of its segmented plates, slamming in, and again you see a shudder go up its entire body as it roars. Anything else?
That's it.
I
Whoa!
watched.
I lied! Fucking cunning action, bye!
Yeah.
Later.
See ya!
I watched Surrie stab the hell out of it, and I just, from like hanging onto like one of its little spines, I just rest my cheek
just-
against its back for a second. Yeah.
It is your turn, Seren.
Oh, great. I punched the hell out of it again.
I kind of imagine that, like, as you're falling out of the mouth, you like sailcloth
Oh,
into
fuck
it, just like
yeah.
open it a little bit with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Neither of those are gonna hit.
Gunk isn't even out of my
Are you
eyes.
with advantage?
15?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who am I kidding? I rolled a bunch of. Yeah, no, no way.
That's gonna be a 28 to hit.
Yes, it will.
So 9 points of damage, and it needs to make a con save again.
9. Mighty 9. Con save. It makes it. 21.
Yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna flurry of blows again with my bonus action. So neither of those are gonna hit. Neither of those are gonna hit. Run through my
I'll
dice.
trust you.
And a 25 to hit.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
If you guys thought you weren't ready for the purple worm.
Well, it started out really rough. It started out a little rough.
Well, it takes 1 point of damage
Oof.
from my fist.
And it
Oh, no, it
feels
doesn't.
it.
No, it
I lied.
doesn't.
I lied.
No.
It takes
What
6
are you
points
doing?
of damage from my fist.
Yeah.
And just for shits, it needs to make another con save. That's gonna make.
Not nat 20.
Okay.
We got lucky once. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That was a good time for it to get lucky.
That's my turn.
Alcyone.
All right. It is no longer stunned.
You still have
No.
advantage though because of the
Fair.
fairy fire.
True. You let me know if this interaction's okay. I'm going to, with my bonus action, once again, attempt to fucking slam it with this big fucking fist. I use different dice here at this point. Looking real stupid with my cool thing. Gotta roll it in
You're all
there.
over.
That moved this one. It was a 6. I gotta be honest. That was a 17.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, cool. I'm dropping this as a free action. Dropping the hand.
Alright, there goes the hand.
And as my action, if I can then cast a spell with it, because that was just using an action. Alright, cool.
That's just your bonus action.
Yeah, and you can technically drop a concentration spell anytime you want.
Mhm.
Just thought
No
that'd
problem
be-
with me.
Great, thank you, buddy.
You're welcome, buddy.
I'm going to. If anyone's looking, they're probably not. But
There's a lot
Alcyon's
going on.
Oh, look.
eyes become an inky void
Hector's
for a
looking, he's
moment,
right there. Ooh.
and the worm needs to make wisdom saving throw.
It's not good at that.
Well, with the night I'm having,
Hope it isn't.
6.
Nice.
it fails.
Good to know that my plan D is still
Viable.
ready to go if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
needs
yeah.
to be.
All right. As of now, it is sickened.
Ah.
It has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. At the end of its
Nice.
turn, it can make a wisdom saving throw as the eye bite sinks into its face.
It's many, many eyes.
Yeah. My dark eyes and its eyes.
Is that an official, like, condition?
No, it's just
Sickened?
it's
No,
a
it's-
characteristic, but it gives it disadvantage on attack rolls.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
checks.
Okay,
It's
great.
like poisoned.
It's
is there.
essentially poison, but
Yeah.
it's a specific thing to the spell.
Gotcha.
It rides back and forth again.
That's my turn.
In fact, now that it's freewheeling again, Seren, I'm going to need you to give me a dex save. Dexterity saving throw to hang on as it rides it writhes in its new sickened state.
I thought I had a sickening. I thought I had a second to put some fried rice into my mouth, but I didn't.
You never do.
Dex save?
Yes.
18.
Oh, it tosses you off. It
Uh-oh.
writhes, being sickened by Alcyone's curse, and you try your best to maintain
Was
your
that an
footing.
ability check?
It was. Wow, yeah, it still throws you off.
Oh, cool. There you go.
That's
Just,
fine.
Yes, so you are going to be cast fall, but you don't take fall damage, right?
I can negate up to
not this height, probably not.
45 points.
You're going to take you're 50 feet up if you're on its head.
45 points of damage.
45 points of damage.
Oh. You'll probably be fine then.
Which is impossible for that to
I
roll.
thought it was.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only 4d6, so yes, you're good.
Then I do
Nice.
I do a backflip as it tries to throw me off and do like a cute little 3-point landing.
I bet that looked so cool. I can't see over this fucking web.
Dead.
It is the worm's turn. Here it comes. It has disadvantage on attacks now.
Sure does.
It is going to turn its huge head.
Is it moving?
Yes, I guess. Right?
It's
It's not moving. It's still in its little hole, but it is moving.
Well, the thing-
so-
Considering its reach, considering its space it occupies,
Mhm.
isn't moving beyond that, is what the thing is. Because it's gargantuan, so I don't know how much space it takes up necessarily.
yeah, it's moving. Go
Cool.
for it.
A benevolent god.
You're so nice to me.
He really
Because
is.
it's turning around to.
This- I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever done this. I don't think it's ever.
No.
I've ever. Okay.
It takes specific situations for it to happen. Because usually they wouldn't move because you're right there.
9. Additional
Damage.
thunder. Right? Thunder?
Yeah, so as it swings its lumbering head around, you hear a boom go off at its base.
Did it?
And sort of recoils a little bit.
God has been very benevolent, so I understand if the answer is no. But as its head left my area,
No, I
Yeah,
don't think.
okay.
Not opportunity stuff, yeah. Because it's still way up in the air.
yeah, okay.
But it's going to turn its huge lumbering head towards you, Alcyone, being the last one that struck it.
Oh,
And
boy.
going to lance out at you, disadvantageously, however.
Sure is. Oh, boy.
But I believe it's still going to hit with a 24.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, it lurches forward, its maw opening like the petals of an orchid, except stinky and slimy.
Yeah.
Ew.
Unlike an orchid.
Yep. Okay, you are going to take 18 piercing damage.
Okay. Okay.
And a dex saving throw, please.
Okay. So 18.
Hmm?
Dex save. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. None of my dice have been doing me well tonight. Hacha! 18? No, that's what she got.
I'm so close. Sorry. You are swallowed by the creature.
Oh, no!
Pulling its head back from the, you see it just sort of like a massive slinky just sort of fall on top of Alcyone, and as it pulls back, taking her and pieces of the ground beneath her with it.
Ah,
It
shit.
raises its head back up.
Con save to maintain concentration. 18, which is more than the 10 I need. So
Yes.
we're good.
Yep, you're good.
But what else happens to me? That's it? Cool.
No.
For now, yes.
Cool. Is that the end of its turn?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't like
Its
the way
tail,
you said
as
it.
it moves around to try and eat Alcyone, its tail also whips around and is going to
Uh-oh.
shoot forward at you, Kashek, flying in the air as you are.
He's a long boy.
Yeah, it's enormous. And you, because you moved up close to it, right? To attack it?
No.
How close are you to it?
It's a.
You said you moved 50 feet.
You've got to try.
But I didn't because I forgot that I didn't have an action yet, so I said I moved back. It's not like I moved forward and then moved slightly
And
back.
it
It's just that
lances towards Surrie.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Hello.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantageously.
Still
but I think
concentrating.
it's still going to get it with a non-natural 20.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
but I'll shield.
Yeah.
What do you? That's what it's for.
I know.
There you go.
Yes, so the stinger shoots forward and boom!
Bounces right off.
Bounces off of your shield.
I'm disgusting.
That brings us to
Hope you
the
like
check.
that, listeners.
Con save,
Yeah,
please.
Amen.
No. Fighter of the big worm.
That is a 23.
8, 12, 17, 18, 22, 23, 29 halved. 14
14. Yeah.
points of damage to him. And that is my turn.
Radiantly.
Aye. Hector, still at the creature's base, gonna swing out with his.
I like that. I only have to spend one
Sword.
spell slot on it. I like
Ooh,
that.
the creature can make another wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn. Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Ah, yes, okay. What is it, wisdom?
He has a wisdom save, yeah.
How long is that for?
I think a minute, probably.
Probably.
That is a 14.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Still affected by sickened.
Okay. Hector lances out once with the sword, connecting. That brings us to Surrie.
6 seconds
Is the
per round.
stinger part on the ground near me? Like,
The stinger lies on the ground.
Yeah.
The head is reared back like a
I'm
cobra.
gonna just go up to it. I just wanna. Oh, he's probably so thick, right?
He's pretty thick.
Hell yeah.
Couldn't be thicker.
Wanted to try and cut through it, but I'm just gonna stab. Booming blade, of course. And I will.
Still fairy
Still
fired,
fairy
right? Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
haven't taken any damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still have advantage.
Beautiful. 23.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, here it
Oh.
comes.
Yeah.
Oh, here
Oh,
it
Lord,
comes.
shit coming.
Here's Surrie.
Chongy. There's a lot of 6s over there.
Just two. This is not.
Oh.
That was just misleading.
Well, that's if I use my bow.
17.
No, let her do it. She's gotta do it.
27. 28.
We're gonna throw off.
Her groove. I'm sorry, you've thrown off Surrie's groove.
Sorry.
Look at that dice ball. It's beautiful.
42 this time. One more.
There's Surrie.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it happen?
I do! I cut its fucking stinger off!
Yes, your dagger lancing through the air, chopping clean through the
I'm
end
still
of the
fucking
worm.
dripping with its nasty ass puke.
Yeah, you are. Its head rears back, roaring spittle and bile, lurching out of its mouth as it in its death throes.
And me.
And you. It is going to
Oops, sorry.
collapse
Oh, that's my bad.
to the ground, and it begins sort of slinking back into the hole, disappearing again below the earth, coming to rest, still a little bit resting outside.
Do I get flown out or do I crawl out?
You gotta kind of
Gently
crawl
float.
out.
That's fine. I'll take the not fall damage. Thank you.
But you've done it. You have defeated the purple worm.
Yay.
As you all come to a moment's rest, Hector, sweat flowing down his brow. You are a bunch of heroes, aren't you?
I'm just like,
Yeah.
Wiping
Yeah.
the muck from your clothing.
I'm taking a bath as soon as we get back.
I just took one.
Take another.
I'm going to.
Chauncey will be happy to help you. You know what I mean.
I'm going to attempt something. I'm going to attempt to destroy water to clean my friends off.
Oh, I can press digitator right here.
Okay.
Water doesn't,
yeah,
unfortunately.
He starts to go for it, and then he sees you take
It's not quite water.
Don't worry,
it's-
I can get that off
mucus.
here real quick.
Thank
I
you.
like calmly saunter up to my friends, like slightly readjusting my wraps where maybe there was some like worm goo. Oh, that was nice.
Hector stands over the beast. Good God. I haven't seen anything like that in my life before. What in the luminary's name is it?
Well, it sort of looks like a worm.
It's pretty purple.
It is purple.
You have 18 hit points left.
Yes.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Thank you.
You gain 13 points of healing.
Thank you.
Including your wisdom mod. So
Oh!
that's 5.
18 points of healing.
Yeah.
And you know what this thing is. Travel as you are.
Do I know what this thing is?
Nature or nature?
With these dice, how can I go wrong?
Well, with that nature, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Babby.
I'm not proficient.
I would cast guidance, but I can't.
That's okay. 18.
Oh yeah, you've never seen one before, but you've read about them. This is indeed a purple worm. Knowing what you know about them, you're shocked to find it here.
You know they are generally denizens of the Underdark. Rarely do they venture to the surface.
The what?
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, this is unimaginatively named a purple worm, but this is not where they go. This is very out of character for one of these.
Where would you usually find it?
Far, far underground.
Deep underground, is it?
Like, underground civilization place. People, they don't come up to the surface, typically.
Well, and he just sort of looks it over. Long way from home, aren't you, fella?
Kind of raises more questions than answers.
Well, may raise questions, but does put an end to one worm.
That's true, that's true.
That's right.
If this is the only one terrorizing, then looks like your people might have a bit of rest.
Well, looks like we've something to celebrate tomorrow even more then, huh?
Indeed.
Thank you. You did keep it from lancing me into pieces that first bit there. I appreciate it.
Oh, just doing my job. And I think maybe that's where we'll call it.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Woo-wee! Oh, I'm gonna have fun with Sunbeam.
Man, it started bad.
I forgot completely.